He was on the opposing team. But, yeah, they finally ended up losing. I couldn't have been happier. I can say it now. The statute of limitations is up. I couldn't have been happier.
Is this why you're the constant owner of the Spite store? Is this your origin story? Is this why you're always so filled with spite? It all makes sense now. It all goes back to Little League.
No, because then Kenny, it was a double down because then we made it. We played the team, the coach that held me back, and my coach fired me up. And every time I went to bat, he was like, remember, that man kept you off the team. And I just crushed it in that series. I mean, single-handedly, I defeated them. We got to the championship game. We're playing the Bears. The Bears were this upstart team that got lucky. They made it there. It was 2 out of 3. In game 1, we were crushing them, winning. I go up to bat, get hit by a pitch, fracture my finger.
Whoa!
I'm out for the rest of the series. My coach is trying to find ways, like, can we take the cast off your hand? Can you hold it back? Like, of course, you can't do this stuff now, but we ended up losing because I didn't play.
Wow.
So, yeah, I had to sit there and watch. So I said that was the summer.
So it's no Wally Pipp story, you know?
No.
Somebody didn't come in and, like, take your play
that was
position
the summer.
and just go.
No. That was a summer where, I lost my innocence and realized life was not fair. So, yes, Kenny, that was the origin story. When they do my movie, that's going to be a key scene.
By the way, do we have any type of, I don't know what the correct terminology would be, but intel on how your regular partner would be or was as an athlete in, like, maybe Little League?
I know he played.
How could you not play Little League?
Because, I don't know.
Everybody played Little League, did they?
I did not play Little League.
Oh, really?
I played basketball and football growing up. Never played baseball.
I don't know if he played. I couldn't see. I mean, seriously, his teammates would probably hate him because he was like, I can't believe you struck out. I'm 6. He's sitting there bad-mouthing his own coach.
Coach, here's what we're going to do. We're going to lose because we'll have the number 1 pick in the draft next year. You'll get a 5-year-old to come up.
I can't believe this coach doesn't know what he's doing. You mean me, son? You mean I'm your coach? Yeah, you're worthless. 248-539-9797. David, a couple ticket texts when we get to the phone lines.
Winning states back in 2006. I was the pitcher. The final pitch was about 8 inches outside, but called a strike.
Oh, okay.
Aaron in Garden City says, Stoney, I think I have you beat. Senior year of high school, baseball tryouts, we were hitting at an indoor field off a tee, but had fielders. We had bases loaded, 2 outs, and I decided I was going to be funny and bunt in T-ball. I wind up hitting, then attempt to push the bunt while running, missed the ball entirely, so I struck out in T-ball at 17.
Oh, that definitely. I was only 8. Okay.
Yeah.
I have an excuse.
Yeah.
Not a good one, but not 17.
Yeah. That has you beat.
Someone says opening day in 2003 fell off a swing and broke my left arm. Parents didn't think it was broke. Still played first base and got 2 walks before I left for the hospital. How did they not think it was broken? I was playing catcher, and the kid was running home to score the tying run. He ran me over, and I held onto the ball, nose bleeding to end the game. Was my best memory. Mark in Chesterfield.
Way to go, Mark. I like that.
10U baseball. My mom got me Blue Baby bottle pop. Coach yelled, and I was on deck, put the candy in my back pocket, hit a double, skid into second base, and crushed the candy. My back pocket was covered in blue powder and candy the rest of the game. Tim in a truck. Someone else says, we need a movie on Stoney's childhood. That is a great story. Caught a line drive in right field, and I fell back. Still caught it, 9th inning. If I didn't catch it, the runs would have scored, and we would have lost a playoff game. Bench came running out to me cheering. That is from Jared.
Awesome.
I gave up a grand slam to John Vitale in Cannon League in Detroit.
John Vitale played, he was a center for Michigan and also played for the Detroit Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob in Brighton said it was extra innings, top of the 10th, bases loaded, no outs. I was in a slump. Nobody expected me to do anything, to be honest, just put the ball in play and pray. Well, lo and behold, I hit a bases clearing triple and won us the game. Best baseball moment of my life.
Okay, see, this is where I would ask him, did he do it with his eyes closed?
Because he said he was, yeah, you're right.
Well, you just close your eyes and just pray to God, just make some contact.
Travel baseball is a thing to make parents feel good while spending a bunch of money for no reason, not about the kids at all. Not been my experience.
Well, it is a little bit of a grift. 248-539-9797. We'll get to your stories. We'll get to your phone calls next. 97.1. All right, let's just go straight to the phone lines. What's your Little League story? In honor, Tigers, Yankees are going to be playing in Williamsport in the Little League Classic.
By the way, they're getting screwed, the Tigers. They lose. The Yankees are one of the few teams that, consistently draw, because they're the Yankees.
Right.
They're losing a home game.
They are. But
actually doesn't, for this season, who cares, really? But
no, it actually matters because this is going to be one of the games that you would have actually sold. It would have been like when the Dodgers came to town.
Right.
And you were going to sell out because everybody wanted to see Shohei. Everybody's going to want to see Judge. That's because I thought maybe this was a Yankees game, but no, I guess it really was a
right.
Tiger.
Hey. The flip side of that is the Tigers at least getting national exposure now.
And you know what, Stoney? You can never start scouting too soon. Maybe Scott Harris will be there and he'll see somebody who can actually do something. 248-539-9797. Kevin, you're going to lead us off today. You're on 97.1.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, and Stoney, I love that you still are filling in on shows. It's we love having you around. At least I do. And
thank you. That's very nice.
You do stick around. Congrats on the retirement.
Thank you.
So yeah, So basically, it was when I was about 6-7 years old. I was playing my first year of t-ball organized baseball, and I wasn't one of the better kids on the team, but I was on a good team. We went to made it all the way to the not the state finals, the city championship. And just for some context, this is like the Sterling Heights League. So we had a lot of kids that played for Utica Stevenson, and they won a state title in 2005 just for the people that are like, oh, screw the city leagues because the Fed teams are good. But, yeah, that's just some context. But basically, my dad took me to practice hitting a little bit the day before the game. It was the bottom of the seventh inning, the last inning, and we were down by 2 runs. I ended up hitting a grand slam. It was my first hit of the year, and I think there was like 2 outs, and we won the game. It was pretty crazy. Nice. I was kind of like, I couldn't believe it. I remember it's like the 6-year-old. My what was it? I kind of peaked, I feel, a little early on in my sports career, and that was one of the big and better moments I remember.
Appreciate it, Kevin. 248-539-9797. Well, he had a good story. So, David, what about you and the grift that is travel baseball, Coach Hull?
Well, since I didn't play, I don't want to tell my son's story. Those are his stories.
Well, you're a coach. I mean,
I'm not really coach. I'm just a parent for this last team.
You're in the crowd basically yelling at the coach.
Yeah,
I got you.
But he did have a great
play my kid.
He pitches. He plays center field. He did have a great pitching performance to take his team to
which son? Good son or bad son?
The oldest. He had a
good answer.
He almost said the bad son.
The tournament they finished second in one of the tournaments this year. He had a great performance to get them to the championship game. I mean, he was an ace. He was Justin Verlander for that game. But I missed that game. So it is what it is.
That's a great story. All right, 248-539-9797. Well, if it was the other, I would have been more invested if it was the other son. Why did you miss it? What were you doing?
Some responsibilities at the church that I had. I couldn't get there in time. So
the building
but
fund.
I saw the championship game. He had a great performance at the bat there.
The building fund must be collected at all times, folks, no matter what. Let's go back to the phone lines.
He was constructing the pew.
You're on 97.1. Hey, Brian.
Brian.
Okay. And he's gone. Okay. Kyle, you're on 97.1.
Hey, so my little league story was I was about like 15 or 16, and it was a game right before the championship, and not having a good game at the plate, but it was bottom of the ninth. We were up by 3, and they walked the bases loaded, and then they came in and they had me come in to close, and I was able to strike out the side.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good one. I just remember the last pitch was like a nice curveball, probably the best curveball I ever threw in my life. and I was able to win the game off of it.
Wait, how old were you? I think you were supposed to throw
you said 15
curveballs.
and 16. What? He said 15 and 16. Little League only goes to 12.
Correct.
That's big league. But
Oh no, we had it was like minor leagues, major leagues, and like a senior league, but it was still a part of the little league.
Oh, okay.
Can you be 20 in the senior league?
no. David, be nice. Thanks, Kyle. Couple ticket texts, David.
2005, my team is playing the first place team with the second best team. Huge rivalry game right before the playoffs. I'm the first baseman. There's a man on first and second, one out. The batter hits a line drive to my right side. I leaped as quickly as I could, snagged the ball, then ran and tagged the runner trying to get back to first. Crowd went crazy, felt so good. That is TJ in Auburn Hills. Unassisted triple play. Playing third base, caught a line drive, tagged the runner out to third base, threw it to first to win the game. Mark and Monroe. Think he's lying.
No. He's probably not, because in Little League, you get a lot of that because people don't necessarily know the rules. And if you do, it's like, wait, what do you mean I'm out?
You're right. They're staying still waiting to know. Yeah, you're right.
It's like the home run you get for laying down a bunt, and they just keep throwing the ball all over. Like, really, it's a 3-base error, but you don't want to tell the kid, yeah, you hit a home run, and you just let it go. You know, the funny thing
Been there
is,
before.
I had NIL before there was NIL.
Oh, come on.
No. And anybody who grew up in Southwest Detroit, because I played on the Cobras, Mrs. Jones, her son played on there, Brian Jones. She paid us at the end of the game, depending on what we did. So if you went out there and you got a lot of hits, it depends. You get $1. Like if you hit 2 home runs, you get $2. Which was so yeah, we got our money to go get candy and pop and stuff like she did. Hey, that's when I found out. Okay, but she, if you didn't do nothing, you don't go approach her. But Mrs. Jones,
Was Mrs. Jones the Ed Martin of your little
she
league?
was the Ed Martin of the Little League. Oh yeah.
By the way, we have breaking news. Gio Urshela has been DFA'd. That's the one. I don't know what else is coming, but
Kind of thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because this allows him.
Jace Young,
You
we're
know
talking
what?
about. Yep.
Go find a team that can use you. 'Cause
Correct.
Yeah.
We're not. So
Attach
that
yourself
was
to a
the
playoff
Tigers,
team.
just out of respect. Look, you're good. Somebody's going to pick him up. He won't be out of baseball for long. What about Javi?
We waiting on the number 2, right?
Come on.
We're waiting on the next guy. I don't think it's
I
going to
mean,
be
they're
Javi.
bringing
No.
up a shortstop.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Javi.
I think it'll be
The man hits a home run and then you let him go.
It'll be McKinstry
You know what?
if anything.
Yes. Because you've been holding this team and this city hostage. So yeah, I think it's poetic justice. You let him go.
In on a high note?
Yep.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. You know who's running the show here. Come on.
That would give me hope, though. Man, it would give me hope.
Yes.
Just saying. But yeah, I just want to let you know, yes, it was NIL before there was NIL. Yeah, we were on the take. We were getting money.
Little League. I love it.
If you did well, we were killing. I mean, there was no mercy rule either. So we would beat teams 43-3. There was no, you got everybody. No. We embarrassed you. And we would then go over to her, and she just had a handful of money and just handed it out to us. It was like, yeah. We go to the store like, you got your Miss Jones money? Yep, I got it. You got yours? No, she ain't give me none.
There must have been a lot of people want to go play for that team because they knew they were getting Miss Jones money.
Well, Brian, you're on 97.1.
Hey guys, thanks
man.
for taking my call. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes,
yes,
we
we
can
can.
hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, so great topic. Stoney grew up playing Little League in Pennsylvania, so hearing this brought back a lot of memories.
Okay.
My parents were divorced, and I would go to Pennsylvania in the summer, so I couldn't be there for the tryouts at the beginning of the season, to make the Little League. So we had Farm League, and that was all I was able to play. And so I was on the Phillies, and we didn't really have a lot, so I show up, play my blue jeans and my mom's white Keds sneakers.
Kids.
Love that's
Keds.
all I had to wear. So we'd play, and nobody wanted the kid that couldn't, that showed up halfway through the season. But
end up making the all-star teams all the time. And it was just a lot of memories. But I had decided that when I had kids, my kids would never have to do without. So first year, my son shows up playing T-ball. He's got bat bags. He's got hats. He's got cleats. He's got – so a great topic, guys.
Where in Pennsylvania did you play?
So it would have been South Central, Huntington, Altoona area. So, you had Natty Glow, all the Tyrone, when you got to the Little League tournaments, you had all those fun names from Middle Pennsylvania. It was a lot of fun.
Gotcha.
Appreciate the phone call.
I love the sponsors we had on Little League. There was Irving A. Miller Real Estate. There was Marple Ford.
No, I remember. Yeah, it was like all the local little shops, mom and pop shops would go ahead and sponsor a team. Chad, you're on 97.1.
Hey, I remember when I was in seventh grade, I played, and I was the pitcher for the All-Star game, and I was so excited because I was telling everybody how good I was and everything else, and man, I got rocked. When you're a kid, you can play one game and strike out a few. But when you face all the best, man, I was so defeated. I threw my glove on the ground. My dad came and yanked me off the mound.
Wow. Appreciate the call. Yeah, it's bad. Son, you stink. Well, come on. Let's just call it what it is. 248-539-9797. Let's get a little football next because Football Fridays will be coming up in just a matter of weeks. 97.1. We do it every hour. David, let's do some football.
So we are in the preseason of the NFL. So let's go through some former first-round selections that are on their last leg. You let me know if you agree or not, and if they are on their last leg, if there's any other shot for them elsewhere in the league. Let's start with.
Stoney, I got a feeling it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks on this list.
Let's start with the 2021 group of quarterbacks. You have Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields, all on different teams. Justin Fields may get a chance to start eventually. The rest of them, not sure. Last leg, is there a shot for any of them?
Well, I think there's a shot for Justin Fields. I mean, he's got a really good coach. Sometimes they're offensively challenged, as you know, David. But I think Mac Jones, no, and the other ones, Zach Wilson's going to be a career backup.
I like what Fields has. He's on a garbage team that just needs a wide receiver, and they just need to sweeten the deal, and they can have that wide receiver, David, but you guys are being cheap about it. But in all seriousness, yeah, Justin Fields played on a team where his team didn't like him, and they didn't try to support him at all, and he still got some things done. So imagine if you surround him and you insulate him and you give him pieces, I think you got something. Trey Lance is the one. I don't know what he is because he's never really played. He played a little bit, got injured. Brock Purdy came in and he got Wally pipped. He never got his job back.
I think
so. I don't know.
He's a backup too.
That's just it. I have. He's the only one now. Zach Wilson and who was the other one? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think that they'll be like the third quarterback on teams, or they'll be like, wow, he's still in the league. They'll be one of those guys where they still manage to find a job here and there, but they could play on 3 teams before the season's over.
Let's move over to, well, there was a trade in the 2022 NFL draft, and Stoney, your team, traded for A.J. Brown. They gave the Tennessee Titans a first-round selection.
Treylon
and they
Burks,
used
right?
that pick on Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks.
Is there any hope for him?
He could be a third or a fourth receiver somewhere, but that's about it. I mean, that was one of Howie Roseman's gems, that trade. I mean, and look, in Tennessee, they're hurting for it, but, yes. Great trade for the Eagles, horrible trade for the Titans, and he's just going to be a guy. Nothing more.
I think he's done because here's the thing, David. When you get to that third receiver spot, that's when the incoming rookies are going to take your spot. Because if I have to, this guy's under control. I don't know what he is. I know what you are, and you're not much. So I think he's done.
Let's move to another quarterback. This one's a little older. He was a number 3 overall pick in 2018 by the Jets, and he will be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings this year. Sam Darnold, can he reinvent himself in Minnesota?
With Kevin O'Connell, with Justin Jefferson, Addison, they have Aaron Jones now. Yeah, I think he can be, I'm not going to make the Pro Bowl, but he can be a good, solid quarterback. And correct me if I'm wrong, he was okay with the Niners.
You look at what they did with Nick Mullins last year. I mean, he went out there and lit it up. So the thing about Darnold, he is going to have every opportunity to get it done. Mm-hmm. Your competition is out for the year.
Right.
So they're stuck with you. So if you can't make it this year, you blame no one but the man staring you back in the mirror.
Yes.
Because you're going to have receivers when they all are together. You have a team. You got a running back. You got it all. He was okay when he was with the Niners, but here's your chance, man. So David, to answer your question, he's got that opportunity. If he does, I think it's going to be hard to take the job away from him. If he's just average, JJ's going to come in and just take the job from day one next year.
Yeah, more to your point, Justin Jefferson, the JJ that will play this season, was quoted as saying yesterday in a video, in an interview, that I didn't know how good of an arm Sam Darnold had until he threw me the ball. He says, when he throws me the ball, touches my hands, it feels like a pillow. So that endorsement alone is what he needs, but he has to continue it.
Darnold's not stupid either.
Right.
If Justin Jefferson, the real JJ, is backing me, I got a job.
Yes.
They're going to keep me. If he badmouths me, I'm going to be at your local Walmart.
Yes, correct. Someone that may be at their local Walmart real soon, a defensive player here. He was drafted in 2022. Lions fans remember him when he went crazy on the field and got ejected.
Oh, yeah.
That is Quay Walker.
Look, it's like any young person. If he gets his head on straight, he'll be great. If not, he'll be out of the league. I think he's going to get his head on straight now. I think, sometimes it takes a guy
You think
2
so?
years. Yeah.
I don't know, man, because once you get a reputation, though, teams are going to always remember you for losing your cool in a game. And what did he push the ref down?
He pushed the
He pushed
Lions
the refs.
train. Remember, he pushed the Lions
Right,
train here.
but
Yes.
this was
The trainer, yes.
Yeah, and this was just after.
That was after the Hamlin situation.
Right, and it's just like, whoa. I mean, we were all a little
Yes.
sensitive because we were all thinking like, well, how do you know this guy isn't about to die? And you pushed him away, and it's like, what are you doing? So that's one. I don't know if he'll ever shed that. He's going to have to go out there and unfortunately play above and beyond just to get back to normal because it was such a bad look for him.
So let's close it out with these two players. One a running back, one a quarterback. The running back plays in Pittsburgh. His name is Najee Harris. And the quarterback is one Daniel Jones.
I think, look, Najee Harris, if he doesn't have a great year, he's not going to be out of the league. There'll be always a spot for a guy who can run the ball hard. As far as Daniel Jones goes, I know the person who usually sits here hopes he never sees the field for the rest of his life or even his afterlife, for crying out loud. But he's a backup. That's what he'll be. He will be a backup. Right now he's a $40 million bust, but he's a backup.
He's only a backup if somebody eats that cost. And I get him at league minimum, and the Giants pay for most of it. The running back, David, yeah, I mean, because it's running back by committee now, and it's rare that you see just that one guy, now you'll find a spot. Somebody will pick him up. He will be the battering ram type of running back. So I can see him finding a place. And will really tick David off. He's going to go to a good team in a lesser role.
With an offensive line.
And you're going to be
with a quarterback.
Oh, but you couldn't.
Yeah, he could be Chubb's backup in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now he's eating me up. Oh, my gosh.
You want something sad? Here, let me help you feel better. For those out there, we're not going to go through each one. The 49ers 2022 draft class. Probably, it almost ranks up there with that Lions draft class that no one stuck with the team. If it wasn't for the last pick of the draft, everybody else is either pretty much gone or out of the league. Their entire was
Kinlaw on that one?
No, he was not.
Okay.
No. It was Drake Jackson,
Gone.
Tyron Davis Price,
Gone.
Danny Gray,
Gone.
Spencer Buford,
Oh, my Lord.
Samuel Womack, Nick Zakelli,
You better be glad you traded for Christian McCaffrey.
Khalil Davis, Terrio Castro Fields, and Brock Purdy.
Wow.
Ooh, you better be glad you traded for Christian McCaffrey.
God, is that a bad draft?
That's horrible.
That you think about it. Normally, you nail the first select. They nailed the last
Right,
selection.
they nailed Mr. Irrelevant.
Right.
They got everything else
and
wrong.
nothing else even touched.
It reminds me of that Lions draft where just everybody was gone in 3 years.
Wow. That is in football today.
Brought to you by Twin Peaks. Well, news breaking this hour that the Tigers were bringing up two of their top prospects in Jace Young and Trey Sweeney. We knew that, but we didn't know who they would move. Otherwise, Gio Urshela is getting DFA'd. Urshela played 92 games for the Tigers and hit .243 with 5 homers. He inked a $1.51 million deal with the Tigers this offseason, still owed $350,000, but if he gets picked up off waivers, the team will not be on the hook for those remaining funds. Neither Sweeney or Young were on the 40-man roster, so Easton Lucas was DFA to make room for him. Lucas was already in the minors, so Akil Baddoo heading back to Toledo as well. Hear coverage of tonight's game right here on 97.1 The Ticket, pregame at 6:15. On the TV side, Alex Avila is making his debut on Valley Sports Detroit tonight. He'll be in the booth today and tomorrow. Avila has called a number of games on radio for Detroit, including a few this season. Connor Stallions has been hired by Mumford High School as their defensive coordinator. Here's Coach William McMichael on the move. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
So is Mumford hiring Axel Foley to be their offensive coordinator?
Or will he dress up as Axel Foley and just walk around other schools? Okay, we're going to talk some Lions, but did the Mumford coach come out and say how they could learn? David, could you play that clip one more time, please?
So the problem was when he was in Michigan, if he would have given 100% of just staying where he was as opposed to going on sidelines or having people go for him to other venues, yes, because he's a savant sign stealer even without the big bullcrap that he did.
Okay, let me just help you out. You're cheated, and you're really coming out saying, well, he could teach these guys what, how to cheat, how to skirt the rules,
the lingo
how to
of
write
the
a
college
650-page manifesto.
He says the lingo of the college player. You can learn how they operate.
This is Mumford. Come on, you can do better than this. You really can. I mean, David, it was so ridiculous. And I told you about this weeks ago. It was so ridiculous that David, some people told me about this, that he's like the DC of Mumford. I don't believe it, because why would you touch this man right now? But it was true. Reports start coming out today. I think the news had it. Like, are you serious?
And that's why he did it. It's because he's in the news. Mumford's in the news. He's getting interviewed. That's why.
But Mumford's no good. Like,
I agree. You're right. But they're no good, and we're talking about them.
Look, I get it. This isn't DPS radio, but I will say this. I did contact a couple of coaches in DPS. Yeah. They're like...
Are there any high school rules about this?
About stealing signs?
Well, we know you can steal signs anywhere. You just can't.
I don't know
the way he did it.
Right.
I don't know, but all I know is one coach pretty much said if he catches somebody in some spyglasses, what he would do to him.
Yeah. I really hope that was someone on a certain school.
So he pretty much said that he would slap the stuffing out of somebody in some spyglasses.
Yes, let's
fill in the blanks.
Believe me, look. He cheated, they cheated, whatever word you want to use, yes. But every school has sign stealers. They just didn't go over the edge and do stupid crap with it.
They don't send someone ahead of time to Ohio State games and Penn State games.
You had a budget. You're flying and going to other games. You are across the sideline and you're recording this. So do not inundate David with a bunch of text messages.
Right.
Well, everybody steals signal. Yes. So long as you have a TV set, I can go back and rewatch the game. That's it.
Right.
It ends right there. Hey, newsflash. Don't know if most of you know, but it used to be that teams would just give each other, you know what? Here's some of the video. Yeah, they would exchange tapes. And it's like, you know what? Rather than go through all of this, here's tapes on us. You give us some tapes on you, and we'll figure it out. Because Lord knows there aren't any new plays.
No.
But when you go through all of that and you go above and beyond, and you have your own budget and your own resources, and you're a grad assistant, and your offensive and defensive and head coach are listening to you on the sideline, most graduate assistants are there to be seen and not heard. Not this guy. They're looking at him, and they're like, Connor, which play we running? All right, run that play that Connor just said. So, wow. It was so ridiculous. I did not believe it when I first heard it, only to come to find out that it's true. Okay, I'm done. We'll move on. Good for you. Go Fighting Axel Foley's.
It's gamesmanship. If it wasn't Michigan, nobody would care. That's from Zach.
Yeah, they would care.
You know what? See,
They
hold on.
They would care.
See, David, you knew what you was doing. David just basically pulled a pin, threw the grenade, and walked out the room.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Zach, this is where you always got. Zach would be livid if it were the Buckeyes. He would be shut the program. Remember,
the gold pants.
This is a fan base that wanted Ohio State shut down over tattoos and gold pants. The tattoos, even if you got wings on your back, didn't make you run faster. There was no advantage in the game. But you wanted that team, wanted that program shut down. But this, well, if it wasn't, it's okay to say, yeah, I'll even help you because I know it's hard to say we cheated. We pushed the rules and pushed the boundaries further than we should have gone. There you go. There's the PC way of saying we cheated because I know you can't form the words, we cheated.
Well, I'm a Michigan fan and I can form the words, we cheated. They did.
Yeah, we cheated.
Yes.
We did. Yeah, you're right.
They did.
And you know what? You won. You did. And to some of you, you won't care. You're going to wear your hats. You're going to wear your T-shirts. You can't expect the world to respect you.
No.
But don't worry about us.
I don't care.
Worry about your guys. Worry about your people.
Right.
And, do your thing.
Right.
But don't sit here and ask for validation from everybody else because everybody else is going to be, no, you don't get that. That's not how it works. So, but Mumford, wow. Yeah. Just.
Didn't Jamel Hill go to Mumford?
She did.
Maybe she's funding Connor Stallions. Just kidding. I love Jamel.
You know what's fun? So what?
Go to a call.
I want to find out what happens when she finds out. See, I should almost.
I
don't think she's found out yet.
Oh, it's coming.
But the second she finds out on Twitter, she's gonna have something. All right, Crandall, you're on 97.1.
Yeah, I'd like to comment. Mr. Stallions made a mistake, and you all are acting like in your whole lives you've been perfect. And you've never done anything wrong.
No, I have.
And cheating. Wait a second. And cheating. Are you surprised there's cheating in football?
No.
Crandall.
Come on now. No, what you are trying to do is blame everything on this young man. You're trying to destroy his life. I don't even know him.
Crandall.
Okay? But you're trying to destroy this man's life. Get him on the radio.
Crandall, we can have a conversation.
Do
you want to have a conversation or not? Okay.
No, we can have a conversation. It's just that it just makes me sick to hear you judgment, and you especially. You're always saying, oh, my God, he did this. Listen, you're not perfect.
Crandall, running a red light is making a mistake. Running a series of red lights while you're driving 100 miles an hour, that's a little bit more than a mistake. He didn't do something one time. No, Crandall. He didn't make a mistake.
I understand what you're saying, okay?
Yeah.
But he made a mistake in his life, in his coaching life. Okay.
But he's not a coach.
Crandall, you know what happens in the real world when you make a mistake? You pay for your mistakes. You pay for your mistakes.
And he has. He's coaching at Mumford. He's paying for his mistake.
But he's not a coach. He was never a coach at Michigan. Yeah. Never.
I didn't say he was.
You just said he was a coach. You just said that.
I said he was coaching at Mumford. That's he's paying for his mistake because he's the coach at Mumford.
You're saying
what?
You're saying that's like going to prison, going to Mumford.
Crandall may win on that.
No, I'm saying that it's a big step back from where he was at.
Yeah, but no, look,
okay?
Crandall. Nobody's saying that Connor Stallion should not work again. It's just peculiar.
Well, you are.
No, I'm
No,
not.
I'm saying.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
And you know what? The way that you're so judgmental at your show, I usually try not to listen to it, but you're the only entertaining show around, so I can get mad.
Thank you.
I'm in the middle of the day.
Hey, Crandall, there's nothing better than hate listening sometimes. Well, go ahead.
Right. But you guys have always done this when somebody makes a mistake. You know these people have families. They've already been embarrassed enough.
Yeah, he's gonna have his own. And he's gonna have his own net. And he's gonna have his net. Crandall.
All right, Crandall, we're against it, but I appreciate the phone call.
And then watch his net.
You know when the embarrassment comes? The embarrassment comes when you run a 650-page paper. Okay, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, his own manifesto. He's a glorified fanboy.
A mistake is when you run a red light. But if you go on cops are chasing you and you're doing 100 miles an hour, that's a little bit more than a mistake. Okay? Wow. You know what? We'll take your phone calls and ticket text next. We'll get to the Lions. 97.1. We all make mistakes. Some are bigger than others.
Some are stupider than others.
Hey. We will get to some Lions talk, but David, any ticket texts?
Someone says mistakes were made.
Yes, mistakes were
made.
Oh, what does Crandall think about Mel Tucker? He just made a mistake. It's a lot of those coming in, man. Believe me, it's a lot of those coming in.
You know, Kwame made a mistake. He made a mistake. I don't think my man realized.
I don't think. I hope he didn't realize.
There's mistakes, and then there's a pattern. Okay, that was a pattern. A mistake is if all of a sudden, oh wait, I recorded this play and I shouldn't have. My bad. He had a system,
right?
Okay.
Someone says, Kenny, that's one. Wink and Royal Oak. Another person says, you guys just want to get rid of white jobs. That's all it is.
Yes.
Some person says, I agree with Crandall.
Did anybody say that Connor Stallion should not have this job? We were just wondering why Mumford would hire him, really.
Right. It's like, oh, okay. It sounded so ridiculous, but I guess Mumford is whatever. I mean, hey, we're talking Mumford football, and it ain't about what they do on the field. So, yeah, okay. And then I guess if I read it correctly, he's volunteering his time. He's not getting paid. So, if you're Mumford, you're losing nothing from this except for your pride and your dignity.
I heard they're actually practicing to play on a field that's not 100 yards, too.
That'd be Cass.
I know, but he's preparing them to play them.
CT97. CT97.
I'm just going to read this text. Mumford's home games are going to be a circus. That's why they did it.
I'm sure Mumford's going to get some, national acclaim.
If the games weren't during our show, I would probably go out there to watch a game.
I would too.
It would.
I would.
And I've, you know what? There are a few Detroit public school coaches. I'm going to let you know now, and you know who you are. If you lose to Mumford, I will hire a DJ to play Axel F. as we all wear Mumford T-shirts. So just letting you know now.
I hope that school does lose.
With spy glasses.
So great.
With spy glasses.
Woo! Someone says, so wow, what are you telling these kids? It's okay to cheat? That's terrible, Mumford. Terrible. Savant sign stealer, you guys are shameless in creating a story. So you believe Connor Stallions was responsible for Michigan's season?
No, I don't. I mean, there are other people who believe that they wouldn't have gone 13-0 without it. I'm not one of those. I do think he cheated, though. They broke the rules.
Someone says this makes sense. Mumford's mascot is actually a stallion, isn't it?
Oh, my Lord.
It is, I believe.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They're going to change it from the horse's head to Connor's head.
Yeah, maybe they just hired him to be a mascot.
Well, he certainly has practice. He was a Central Michigan guy. That was his Halloween costume that year.
Oh,
you
man.
couldn't write this. They're really the Stallions?
They are. Their logo, yeah. They're the Mustangs, but their logo is of a stallion.
Oh, okay. Well, Mustang's a horse, too.
Whatever. It's a
Mustang
stallion.
Sally.
I'm going with stallion.
Mustang, Connor.
Let's go to Aaron. Aaron, you're on 97.1.
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Oh, man. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried, Aaron. What's going on?
The mascot jokes might be the best part of it, and
Whoops, did we lose him?
I'm going to try to put a positive spin on this. Just stick with me. I'll keep it quick. The head coach at Mumford, Don Shell English, is now the AD. Fantastic guy. Used to be at Southeastern for years.
Mm-hmm.
This guy must have sat at some point. Who knows? Maybe he blew his doors off in the interview. Maybe they're giving him some grace. But like you guys said earlier, we're talking about Mumford Mustang football. They used to have great tradition. They've struggled a little bit, but they're back in the conversation now. So who knows? They're giving him a little grace. He's got to start somewhere if he wants to get back into coaching. and everybody knows the baggage that's going to come with them and things like that. But who?
Aaron, I'm sorry. Aaron, your phone keeps cutting in and out, but I get what you're saying.
Where's he going to start? You know,
I
at high school. So
yeah, but
maybe wait a year.
But you know what? Here's the thing. When you are a coach with baggage, it's what Nick Saban would always do.
He was not a coach, though.
When you are on a staff,
okay, there
baggage, we go. Nick Saban ran past his Malibu for coaches. Think about guys who had alcohol problems, drug problems. Like they had all types of pretty much. If Nick Saban was there, I would expect Mel Tucker to show up on his staff. He would take all of these people, but because you win, it cleanses you, and people forget about it. If Nick Saban was losing and bringing in all these people, Nick Saban would be fired. So that's why I'm saying I don't see Mumford turning things around instantly. You're going to get a lot of attention. I didn't know that Don Shell was the AD. You're going to get a lot of attention. I hope you're ready for the attention that you're about to get.
If Nick Saban was not the head coach at Alabama, Steve Sarkisian would not be the head coach at Texas right now.
Stoney is Lane Kiffin. Like there's so many different people who have done things, and you're just like, wow. But like you said, Steve Sarkisian, he cleaned up his act.
Yeah.
He went there. That's what Alabama did. And it was the place that all wayward coaches can go there, and it was like a rehab place. And you would go, and you would sit there, and you would have the talking stick, and you would say what happened and why you got fired. And then he would cleanse you, and you would come back, and you would be a head coach again someplace else, and you would now be under the Nick Saban disciple tree. So it will be interesting. All right. We're going to get to some Lions next. You want to do Lions next?
We can get to some football. I got some football for
All right,
you.
let's do some football next. 97-1. Friday, Michael Stone in with me. Mike is off, but I got the Godfather, Michael Stone, fresh off of seeing The Boss last night. And like a boss, he made it to work. He made it to work in time, had an hour to spare. Stoney, you're the man. I promise you, we will get to some football, but I just happened to notice the Tigers starting lineup for tonight. You heard Jeremy say in the update earlier in the hour and said that, Urshelo got DFA, Akil Badu's going back down
to Toledo. Yep.
And, Tigers are bringing up Trey Sweeney, and they're bringing up Jace Young, and both are in the starting lineup tonight.
Good.
They did it, man.
Yeah.
They did it.
They made it to the show.
No. The Tigers have found a way to hook me to watch this game. They you know what, Scott? I'm curious.
Yeah.
I want, especially if Trey Sweeney he's a shortstop. Hey, Javi's not in the lineup, okay? I want to see this. I'm excited about this. I realize this team is not going anywhere, but I want to see these young guys come up. I know. I feel like I'm falling for the banana in the tailpipe here, but.
Well, I'll say this. I didn't think about it until you just said it. I think I'm with you. I think I have to now watch.
Right.
Because something Kenny just said to me. Let's see. Were you being blocked? Let's see. Are you the reason why they didn't go out and get bats?
Well, if we get, we sometimes overdo our praise and our anticipation for guys like minor league numbers and things like that. Young has not really been good the last month to 6 weeks, like he's hitting like 210 or something. So let's, Jim Leland always said, anytime you bring up a guy, I'm playing him. What are they here for? So let him play, especially with a team that's going nowhere. And one other thing to mention here about the subject we talked about last, Mumford is brilliant. I mean, ESPN.com now, ex-Michigan staffer Connor Stallions coaching at Detroit High School. They had quotes from the coach. Andy Staples, who's a big college football guy on Twitter. Mumford's, scouting reports are going to be on fire now. I mean, they're getting a lot of publicity.
They are, and I think that was they knew that. It's going to be the trade-off. You're going to get publicity, but not all of it's going to be good.
No,
but people are, they're the first game that they have, they will probably have national people show up. Not just your local, high school beat writers. They're going to have some ESPN people. They're going to have some athletic people there. And no matter what happens, everybody's going to want to interview the DC. They're going to want to talk to Connor. So it's how you embrace it. And it looks like they are embracing this. So we'll see what happens. Look, everybody, if you can get an opportunity, I'm not going to begrudge a man for getting an opportunity. No. I'm just saying, if you're Mumford, is this really the road you want to go down? Is this really who you want to attach yourself to the hip with? Because for everybody who think, this is a great idea, it's a whole lot of people really ready to rip you and make fun of you. So it's not me being mean. It's just, wow. Okay. He's on the sidelines of Mumford, the Stallions. Okay.
The Mumford Mustangs, whose logo is a stallion. Amazing.
But like I said, as far as tonight with the Tigers, I almost feel dirty saying I'm excited. I want to see this. I want to watch this. And I know it's one game.
Right.
And because you know what? Here's what happens. Normally in that first game, that person looks like an all-star Hall of Famer. Oh my God. He went 4 for 4 at the plate. He crushed 2 home runs. He did this. And you start extrapolating. And then water finds its level.
Right. In baseball more than any other sport.
But because you have been waiting on Jace Young and you've been hearing about him, it's now time. And with Trey, man, if you could just if you could have a war of 0, you're still better than Javi.
Right. And the other thing is that, Sweeney, remember who he was drafted by first. The Yankees. He was a first-round draft choice of the Yankees. He gets a chance to go up against the team that drafted him, and then he got traded to the Dodgers, and now he's here, and he's been really, really good in Toledo so far. But like we said, it's a whole different ballgame.
So I don't know. I mean, people may be thinking I'm crazy, but I'm actually kind of excited to watch this game. Hey, David, if it wasn't going to rain, man, I may even go down to the game to watch.
You going to put any shekels on Judge home run?
Oh, that's always
it's always a possibility. Yes, exactly.
David, why you look at me that way?
Oh no, nothing. I was just gonna say, it'll be dry. You can still head down there for the game.
Put it this way. It's going to be on the big screen.
By the way, in their first major league game, you realize who they're going to be facing. Garrett Cole. So let's
what you're saying is
curb your enthusiasm. Yes.
They're 2 for 4, 3 for 4, and we got superstars in our hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That means we got Hall of Famers, that Scott knew what he was doing, and the core is here. And next year, there will be buyers at the deadline. David, a couple of ticket texts.
Yeah, a couple. One right off the rip says, yeah, you know what? I hate to agree with you, Rico, but I'm also watching tonight, and I haven't watched in months.
An excitement that really since like an opening day, like, okay, some of the young guys are here. You look at this lineup, and you're like, okay, is this your core? Meadows, Carpenter, Veerling, Young, Henry Malloy, McKinstry, Sweeney, Rogers.
Keith isn't playing. They said he's banged up a little bit tonight. And, of course, you got Riley Green.
Right.
So another roster move will have to be made in a few days when Riley Green's back.
But it's like, okay, is this your team of the future? Like, are we going to get a glimpse of what this team is supposed to be?
Possibly.
So, yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Wow. Someone says Stallions lives rent-free in your heads. Or the news happened, and we just brought up what was in the news.
I mean, he really doesn't. Like I said, I just thought it was ridiculous.
Wasn't on any of the show sheets until the story broke.
Chase Young also lives rent-free in my head. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, that's news as well. Trey Sweeney, rent-free in my head. Stoney coming back from a concert. That's rent-free in my head as well. Or you're probably an idiot Wolverine fan who just lives in the basement, and you are paying rent. No, I'm sorry you're not, because you're living in your parents' basement. Go ahead.
Someone is saying Cole has a 4.7 ERA. Only 46 innings pitched. I'm not scared about that tonight.
I'm not scared, but I think his last game, I have to check. He pitched pretty well. It's still, I mean, you're going out, your first game in the major leagues.
Someone that actually matters and can pitch.
Is against a prominent pitcher.
Yeah, that matters. Castex reign is over. Eddie Murphy in Hollywood is going to ruin it.
Oh, man. What if Eddie did show up?
That would be awesome. They should bring them all back. Did you see the redo?
I have not. That's still on my list to see.
I heard it's okay. I heard it's much better than the third, which was
everything
awful.
was better than the third.
Right.
One. I mean, the third one never should have been made. We won't even talk about that.
Oh, when they had the premiere at the movie at the Imagine, where Calvin Johnson was there, and I did a Q&A with him. I have a Mumford T-shirt.
There you go.
Yeah, doesn't say Stallions on it though.
You should get it put on the back.
Yeah, you should add that now. From Jake, says, I know Rico absolutely hates this, but this was a genius move by Mumford.
Guys, I don't
For
hate
publicity,
this.
yes.
I said Mumford is getting him for free. You're on the front page of everything. Now, just remember, all publicity is not good publicity. So I don't care. I'm just like, wow. This is what you're doing. Let's hope it works out for you.
Stone, you should get that shirt signed by Stallions. That'd be pretty cool. That'd make it such a good novelty item.
You're right. Think about that.
Yeah. But, yeah, Mumford, I've seen the football team.
Not good. Let me read this to you, though, Rico. Drew in Woodhaven. Rico, I'm not mad at you. Listening to you talk about tonight's Tigers game is making me want to watch it.
Okay, look.
See, you did it again.
So what? That's the anti-deflator?
Yes, and yeah, you inflated the Tiger interest tonight.
Guys, they got brought up, and they were. I looked at the lineup, and I looked at Stoney like, man, they're throwing them right in there. I want to see what they have, and I realized first game, I'm not expecting anything, but I guess I'm trying to see what the Scott Harris' vision is. He is banking everything on these young guys, and this lineup is what he expects his core to be.
Right. Now, Young was drafted by the father of the Bally Sports color commentator tonight.
Oh.
Alex Avila.
It's Avila. All right. As promised, football next, 97.1. All right, Dave, let's get a little football in the mix, please. Oh, college.
That's right. It is college football, and we are 7 days away from week 0.
You mean week 1, but
okay. Exactly. We have Florida State and Georgia Tech going to Dublin. So here's what we're going to do. We have 6 unranked teams to watch for in the college football race. Start with, and you can say no to it if you don't think that there are any chance for them. Let's start in Virginia Tech. Quarterback Kyron Drones is there. What do you think there? Virginia Tech and the ACC.
And this is to make the playoffs?
This is, teams to watch for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Virginia Tech with the quarterback. I'd have to take a look at their schedule, but they're in the ACC. I don't think they're going to have that many big-time games, so I could see Virginia Tech being a sleeper team from the ACC.
Only tough one, or they have 2 tough ones. One's at home, one's on the road. At Miami, September 27th, and then at home against Clemson, November 9th, which will probably be a night game, I'm guessing.
Don't overlook Marshall. A lot of teams have done that in the past.
Okay, Marshall, September 7th, yes. On the CW.
Right after my wife and kids.
Right after my wife and kids, exactly. All right, so let's go to another ACC team. Do you believe in them to be a threat? And that is Louisville.
Oh, wow. I mean, Brahm's a pretty damn good coach, so I think they'll always be a threat in the conference, right? He's still coaching there, yeah. I mean, he's a very good offensive coach. I don't think they're going to be a threat to, win the national championship.
Who's the Louisville quarterback? Do we know? Yeah, I don't think – I think they'll be an okay team, but I don't see them being a threat at all.
Tyler Show? I never know how to pronounce that name.
I don't see them as being a threat.
Their biggest games would be at Notre Dame, September 28th,
That's a loss.
Miami at home, and then at Clemson, November 2nd.
Yeah,
they're
ready
good
for next year.
They're good for an upset.
Yeah, exactly, Stoney.
They're always good for an upset, especially a night game at home. They're just that team that you're like, it's almost like Purdue in the Big Ten. Like, how did you beat this team? But they find a way to get it done.
So let's go over to the middle of the country, Iowa State. And it's interesting, they started with 4 years ago, Cyclones finished number 9 in the country. They went 9-3, but they haven't had the best few seasons after that. Can they return? They have sophomore quarterback Rocco Beck.
Well, if they can score against Iowa on September 7th, then, that's their basic season.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is what it is. I mean, they have some decent teams. But here's the deal with Iowa State. I'm sick of this Matt Campbell crap. I mean, there are people that thought the Lions should have hired Matt Campbell instead of Dan Campbell. Matt Campbell was always off.
Because at the no, Stoney, at the time, he was the hot name.
I know. But why? Because they were okay. They overachieved a little bit. He was the hot name for, let's get rid of Harbaugh. Let's bring in Matt Campbell.
I mean, it was the same. Matt Rule was the same way. He was the hot name. He got the NFL job, and you found out, you know what? He wasn't that good.
Right.
So I don't mind when people get swept up, because if all of a sudden your team is doing something, then yeah, you reap the benefits. But where's the Cyhawk game going to be played at?
It's at Iowa.
That's going to be difficult. But that game, if you can win that one, it can catapult you. Look, I look at the Big 12 as being wide open because Texas and Oklahoma being gone. They got to figure out who's going to be the new top dog in that conference. You beat Iowa. And I think that's going to catapult you into the rankings, and you're going to be one of the favorites for the Big 12.
Let's head over to Florida, and let's talk about KJ Jefferson's there, UCF. I don't believe in KJ Jefferson. I'm sorry. I don't.
No?
No, I don't believe in him.
Well, Only because I look at what Mullins did with Newton.
Okay.
He's built very similar to Cam Newton. He was able to run an efficient offense. I do. And they're desperate. They're absolutely – they have to win or else he's going to get fired. Now it's going to be hard. If Florida gets there, they've earned it. And it's one of those things that you can't deny because they've knocked off some teams to make it there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's going to be an easy task, but if anybody can get the most out of KJ Jefferson, it will be Florida.
Is Napier? I mean,
Napier. I'm sorry, Napier. Yeah,
he's the guy that basically is on the hottest seat in college football,
Yes.
right? Would that be fair?
Yeah. No, he is on the hottest seat because you coach for a fanatical fan base who wants perfection and they want to win the SEC because it is their birthright. Coaching at Florida is like coaching at Tennessee. It's like coaching at Notre Dame. You don't get too many years to disappoint the fans, and you can be a good coach, and you're gone in 2 or 3 years.
And let's close it out with these two teams that are in the the Power Four. So they're not in the Power Four. Memphis, who had a 10-win season last year, who beat Iowa State in the Liberty Bowl, and Boise State, who has Malachi Nelson as their quarterback.
Yeah, he's the USC transfer. Everything is starting with Boise State. They're set up that they could end up being the representative of the non-group of 4 to make the playoffs. They're one of those teams to watch. I don't know what Memphis is, David. I don't even know. Like, does Memphis have some games on their schedule that can help them get the notoriety? Because they win games, but it's like, all right, you're Memphis. Who did you play? Whereas Boise still has somewhat of a brand name.
And Boise, by the way, they don't open up, but their second game of the season is at Eugene against the Ducks.
Yeah, and the only thing Memphis looks to have is the third week of the season. They are at Florida State, but they don't really.
That's their season right there.
Yes,
because I'm looking at the Navy, Middle Tennessee, South Florida, North Texas, Charlotte, UTSA, Memphis. Against Rice, UAB, and Tulane.
Yeah, it's rough.
Tulane's always it turned into a rivalry game, kind of.
No, Florida State is their season.
Yeah.
You beat Florida State,
you're in the conversation,
and you may be able to run your table because you knocked off the Seminoles. But you lose to Florida State, I don't care what you do for the rest of the season because you're not playing anybody.
That is your College Blitz.
Brought to you by 24 Seconds Bar and Grill. The Tigers lineup is in and features both new additions, but Colt Keats sits out the opener versus the Yankees. A.J. Hinch says he's a little banged up. Parker Mendels will lead it off and play center field. Kerry Carpenter bats second at DH. Matt Vierling in the three holes he plays right. Bly Madris in the cleanup spot at first base. Jace Young, one of those new additions, making his debut after just under 1,000 ABs in the minors, where he slugged .468. He'll play third base as well. Justin Henry Malloy, the other rookie, is underneath him in left field. Zach McKinstry hitting seventh at second base. Trey Sweeney, the other addition at shortstop, hitting eighth. He'll make his debut against the team that drafted him, the Yankees. Jake Rogers also rounding things out at catcher. Bo Brisky, the righty, will open today. He'll oppose Garrett Cole. He's got a .470 ERA so far this year, giving up a combined just 3 runs in his last 2 starts. However, Cole was activated from the 60-day IL in mid-June after suffering elbow inflammation. To make room for Young and Sweeney in the 40-man roster, the Tigers have DFA'd both Gio Urshela and Easton Lucas. Lucas was on the Mud Hens roster, so Akil Baddoo is also heading the minors for the 5th time this year. Ex-Michigan football staffer who was allegedly at the forefront of the Michigan sign-stealing scandal, Connor Stallions, is now heading to be the defensive coordinator at Mumford High School. Head coach Will McMichael on the hire. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Four o'clock, Michael Stone in for Mike Valeni. It's Friday. We do this every week during the 4 o'clock hour. A little Who Said It. All right, this is the game where David listens throughout all the shows throughout the week. He comes up with clips, and we have to decide who said it.
All right, you guys ready? Everybody locked in?
We're ready.
Everyone is eligible, by the way, this week.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Wow.
Including him. Yes. Start with this one. It was awful, but it was so good at the same time.
It was awful, but it was so good. Like, I feel like we're getting the Jeff Rieger ones. Stoney, you weren't here. David got upset with Rieger and literally said sports, things, and we didn't get anything.
Is that the whole thing? Actually, could you read that back to me one more time?
It was awful, but it was so good at the same time.
All right, so there wasn't more.
Stoney, I'll let you go first. Your
God.
dazzling purple headphones.
Yes. So Doug was off all week, correct? So couldn't have been him.
But he is eligible.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you said everyone.
Mm-hmm.
He is part of everyone.
I don't think I said it. I worked with with John for 2 days because
You've worked with everybody.
I
this
worked
week,
with everybody
Stoney.
this week. Yeah. I'll say Costa because that's the only thing I can think of.
I'm going to say Gator, and I have no idea why this is a dart at a dartboard because it seems like you just picked the most vague thing to quote. So I will say Scott the Gator Anderson.
Wow, then I'll go off the board too, and I'll guess he's going to start with Heather and just try to throw us for a loop here.
You know, Kenny, I was thinking the same thing. I can't tell you why Gator, but I was just thinking Gator because that's David's favorite host.
If we get this, that's a miracle, by the way. Any of us, really.
Yeah.
I'm going Gator. We're all locked in, David.
Who said it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
So it was during Heather's news, and they were talking about the breakdancing during the Olympics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she enjoyed the Australian breakdancer that's been so popular on social media.
Ray Gunn or whatever.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of her too. I thought she was great.
Hey,
So she said it was awful, but it was so good at the same time watching
the one that couldn't
Australian.
dance?
The one that couldn't dance.
Yeah, that one.
Looked
Like, I'm
dancing
wondering,
to me.
how did you make it all the way to Paris?
Because
she qualified
Yes.
the same way as the runners got there.
No, I'm not thinking she qualified. Evan, I'm thinking she probably saw somebody's plane ticket and said, "Oh, that's me," and just went. You know how like when you see the limos when you get
The
out of the
chauffeur
airport,
with the
right?
person's name
Well,
on the
she's from
sign.
Australia. Evidently, the only thing that breaks in Australia are kangaroos.
That was awful.
It would have been better seeing a kangaroo break dance.
Yeah.
There was
than her.
nothing about that. Was
Yeah.
painful.
You didn't like this move where she's touching her toe? I thought it was awesome. I don't know.
Anybody that grew up in the '80s was so.
But
just-
Heather,
you insulted.
But Heather was accurate. It was awful, but it was good at the same time.
I
Right,
enjoyed
that
it.
is very true.
Yeah, I've
No.
watched it multiple times.
People of my generation look at the 80s and go, is this what you guys did? This was popular, huh?
Why
You
did
know
you
what?
have a cardboard box with you, Rico?
I wanted her canceled. I mean, seriously, this is not what we did. Okay.
What do you expect from Australia? Their flag is like blue with the little Union Jack,
And they wear green
they
and
wear
yellow.
green and gold. Yes.
It's weird. Ready for number 2?
No. Go ahead.
Always.
If he can unlock Caleb Williams, maybe he's their Ben Johnson. That would be. Let me start over.
It would be something.
The way I wrote this down. Okay, hold on. If he can unlock Caleb Williams, maybe he's their Ben Johnson. That would be the worry if you're a Lions fan. If he can be their Ben Johnson, then the ceiling's the roof.
Ceiling's the
Ceiling's
roof.
the roof.
Oh,
That would be something I would say, but I don't think I said it because they're talking about what Shane Waldron, I believe, is the OC of the Bears. Is that correct?
yeah, I have to jank myself because I know where that saying comes from the show.
It's got to be Jansen.
The ceiling's the roof.
I'll go last.
I know Cookies is big on the Bears. I'm gonna go Cookies. Not the thing. Yeah, he thinks that the Bears could be a problem. I'm gonna go Cookies.
I don't think he'd say the ceiling is the roof, though. That's something John would say.
I was going to say, I heard John a little bit there, too. The ceiling's the roof. That's a great line.
Go ahead,
with
Evan.
John.
Go ahead, Evan.
So it's a quote from Michael Jordan. He said that, I forget where it was, maybe when they
Halftime speech
at North Carolina, right?
Carolina,
And he said
yes.
the ceiling's the roof. And so Carson Anderson have been on this from day one. And so since Doug wasn't here by process of elimination, I'm going to say Gator. But it could have been King, but I'm going to say Gator.
I thought for sure you were going to say him.
All right.
You
Go ahead and
you
collect
said it
that.
could have been Kang. You were right there. You were
But
close.
I went with Gator.
I know, but you were close.
Number 3. Don't hold it against your guests if they don't show up because you booked it during a really important time.
Don't hold it.
Okay,
against
so somebody's
the
talking about weddings during either holidays or football season. Something to that.
I would guess
effect.
football season. I don't think holidays would play in right now.
I think I'm
Yeah.
going to have to use the Jenkins rule here. I'm going to.
That's not the rule.
I'm going to apply the
Jank
the
rule.
Evan Jenkins rule. I already have a drop of me saying it. You can just play it if you
Well,
want.
it's either Jansen or Costa because they both are vehemently opposed to anything being planned during
One
football season.
Right.
One more time.
During a TV show.
Don't hold it against your guests if they don't show up because you booked it during a really important time.
I got to say Cookies. He's so indignant about it. And for a
Yes,
guy that
right.
didn't throw a wedding with guests
Yes.
to be that way.
It's Costa.
I'm going to guess Costa.
I believe
Yeah,
this.
I'll go Costa as well.
I believe this was actually on middays because I feel like I heard this while I was screening, and I feel like it may have been when Rieger was in. So I'm going to say Jeff.
Okay.
We're all locked in?
Yeah.
Who said it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm Jim
What's
Costa.
more important to some people, their wedding or a football game?
Yes. Boise State versus
know what?
Oregon.
Dude, I honestly feel like it almost becomes a who do you love more? Like, I just feel like the bride just does it just to piss off people. Like, okay, I'm going to hold this during the middle of the season.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think brides care
Right.
what's happening on that
You know
day
what?
other
Don't.
than their wife.
Evan, when it comes to the fall, you have to know, like,
Not
you,
the
They can
bride
know.
doesn't know.
Doesn't mean that they care.
It's not
can't
new
be
though that
that
football is in the
Right,
fall.
thank you.
doesn't mean
No,
that they
thank you.
care.
It's not
Right.
about that they don't know football's in the fall.
They don't
They
care.
don't care that football's in
No,
the fall.
Correct.
right? But then it's like, oh well, they're going to show up for me, right?
And if they don't,
Well,
who cares?
And if,
That's how I see it.
and if they either went to Michigan or Michigan State that knows people, if they have the balls to actually have their wedding on that game, they should.
Well, then record it and go watch it after.
You all sound like cookies.
Because guess what? They're going to play it again next year. And you want to know something else, Tony? They're going to play it the year after. And then you want to know what else? When you get home, there's going to be highlights. And then you know what else?
Heaven. And you know what? Chances are that wedding, they're going to get divorced anyway.
Oh, no. See, no.
Well, here.
I'm not allowing that.
More. Chances are Michigan State's going to lose that game, so I'll help you out.
Okay, I'm just saying. They're going to get divorced.
No.
And you don't get your gift back and you don't get your time back.
No.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Same with the gas you put in your car. You're not getting it back.
Switch from who said it to deal breakers very quickly.
Wow. I didn't know Evan was so pro weddings in the fall.
You cannot say that they're going to end up in a divorce, though. No.
David, it's 50%.
I'm reading the next one.
We can flip a coin.
I only know one divorced person, so it's under that for me.
We're reading the next one.
I know some that got divorced in less than a year. Go ahead.
I really can't say something.
They probably had
but
a summer wedding.
I'm just going to read now. But I love this idea by Major League Baseball. I absolutely love it. Make starters go 6.
So that had to happen today.
Yeah.
So that's Rieger.
Think so?
Yeah, I think it is Rieger. Because he's been on this from day one. He
Yeah,
hates
he
the fact
loves
that
it.
nobody does perfect game,
I know.
complete games.
It's like a Stoney thing.
I'll join the cult, Rieger.
So we're all locked in. And you think it happened today?
Oh, maybe it was Costa yesterday. But we're sticking with it, man. We locked in.
Who said it? It was Jeff, but it happened last night. At 8 o'clock.
It doesn't matter.
I was trying to trick you up, but that didn't work, and they brought it up again. What a shot.
There's no bonus points for when it was said. We
Yeah.
just who said it.
Yeah.
All right, last one here.
Mark Ryan.
That's good. Like, I think the North is going to be like the 1A toughest division in football.
I would say 1A. I'm going to say John.
I'm going to say Mike. Wasn't Mike all over that?
Yeah, I had the same thought.
It's going to be the toughest division.
We definitely had that conversation on this show.
And if you watch Hard Knocks, those Bears, they're going to be feisty.
Yeah, I think I did hear Mike say
I
that.
don't know why you would have said 1A.
I don't know if I have to Evan myself, but
Say the
I'm
rule.
sorry, what is it, the rule? What is the
Evan
rule?
myself. But then again, I hate fall weddings. So
Rico, would you have said 1A, Rico, or is that not in your vernacular?
it's not.
Okay, so Mike, yeah.
That's so beneath me.
Who said it? That's enough. We've heard enough of that guy.
Yeah,
We've heard
enough.
Yeah, he's on.
I've
he's
heard
good.
enough
He's
of
off.
him this week.
Woo, that is who said it.
Some things are just better together. In fact, it'd be pretty cool if you can get your favorite streaming apps and internet together, right? Xfinity thinks so. That's why the Xfinity Stream Saver was designed to deliver. When you add Xfinity Stream Saver to your internet, you get Apple TV Plus, Netflix, and Peacock all for one low price. And now through September 22nd, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract and Wi-Fi equipment included, plus add Stream Saver for just $15 a month. That's a whole lot of entertainment for your money, all on a network that is built for streaming. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or simply visit a store today. Xfinity brings on the good stuff. Restrictions supply, requires paperless billing and auto pay with a store bank account. Taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV, and prices subject to change. Detroit Lions getting ready to take on the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow at 4. Andy Reid has come out and said, starters, they're playing half the game. You're going to see Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be out there going up against the Lions for at least the first half. Andy Reid, not afraid to put his guys out there. He's not worried about injuries. Dan Campbell has said you may see a few defensive guys out there. I don't think you're going to see any offensive players out there playing. I look at that and I wonder, man, should the Lions be playing some of their starters? And the reason why I say that, and I've said it before, back when there was 4 preseason games, the dress rehearsal game was game number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Starters would play half the game. It's what it was the best glimpse of what the team was going to look like. It looks like the Lions just, none of your main guys are going to see any playing time in the preseason. But when I see Kansas City going out there, I want to see the Lions play some guys because it's going to be good versus good. Kansas City, I mean, granted, the plays and things may be vanilla, but still, you're going up against the best team in the league. This would give me a better opportunity to see, okay, we have a month to fix this, okay? Because Mahomes tore us up. Or your guys go out there and you're like, you know what? We're a lot further along than I thought we were.
But because you even mentioned that it's going to be a lot of vanilla, I don't know how much fixing there is to do. And while I'm not opposed to certain players, I agree with Dan Campbell. Certain things work for certain teams. Last year, most of the Lions, if any, hardly any of them, played in the preseason. Last year worked pretty damn well. The Kansas City Chiefs, on the other hand, they play guys. They won the Super Bowl. Things went pretty well for them, too. So I think a coach has to know his players, know his team, and I think for the Lions, it works for them. They don't need to see that offense go up against the Chiefs. There's no chance you want to, and I know people say, oh, you were worried about getting hurt, you're a wuss. Yeah, maybe. Okay?
I mean, at some point, Stoney, it's football. Okay?
I understand that.
And the whole, I don't want anybody to get hurt. It happens, man. They can get hurt in practice. So I'd rather see you go out there, and it's not like this is something we haven't seen before.
Oh, I know.
Because it used to be this was the game that you would see your starters out there for at least a quarter or a half, and you would get a gauge on what the team is.
But they didn't have, like, the Lions only did one of them. Kansas City doesn't do any. But back in the day, you really didn't have that many of those joint scrimmages that they have now where they really go at it. So I think
your joint scrimmage, the Giants. Listen, I mean, really, was it a joint scrimmage? You
Yeah.
probably get better play going up against your own guys.
No, I think ones on ones, if you were talking about like the offensive line of the Lions, as good as it is, having Sewell go up against, Dexter Lawrence, or, you got Burns, you got Thibodeau. That stuff is good. And that's what they work on in those things. So if they didn't have that, I would tend to agree with you. I do want to actually see Onwuzurike play. I want to see James Houston play. Other than that, whatever.
I mean, I'd rather see them kind of get the rust off and engage. Okay, we have a month to fix this. We got a month to improve on this. Or you know what? This is further ahead. 248-539-9797. Am I just on an island here? Because I think I'm the only one that says I would like to see some of the guys
You're
play.
not on an island, and I don't know if this will make you feel any better. Rieger believes in playing starters too.
Not helping my case at all.
You asked the question. Are you,
You know
on an
what?
island?
I'm sorry.
I said no.
You know what? Listen,
That's a great character reference right there. You got
That's right.
Rieger on your
That's
team.
You know
right.
what? What's your favorite condiment? 248. No, seriously. I would like to see the Lions play some of their guys at least a quarter. And probably the only one that would be excused would be Gibbs or any of those, like Terrion, any of those guys, Rakestraw, who were injured pre this game. But other than that, yeah, I'd like to see Goff go out there for a couple of series. And just, what do you have? Let's throw the ball around. Let's just go out there. If I was Dan Campbell, I would tell the first string starters, here's the deal. Drive down the field, score a touchdown, and you're done. Show me you can go down there, you can get this done. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, but three and out. You got to play again?
Well, you got to go back out there. That's another series. I mean, I'm only going to play. I would probably put you out there 2, maybe 3 series. But if you want your day to be over quickly, Here's your incentive.
It's not
go
a hill,
out there, score.
It's not a hill I'm really willing to die on, but I prefer the important players don't play. If they did play, okay, I'm not going to go crazy about it. However, I'll be honest, if he played Goff or played St. Brown or played Hutch or any of those guys, and they got severely injured, I'd be pissed at Dan Campbell. And I know they could get hurt during the next
So if they
practice.
get hurt in practice, are you going to be pissed at Dan Campbell?
No.
Why were they practicing? You don't need to know what they do when they practice. They could just sit out.
I admit, in this discussion, my favorite philosopher is Hippocrates.
Yes, that's what this is.
I agree. I admit it.
But practice is more controlled.
Yeah.
While injuries happen, practice is more controlled.
A controlled blown ACL.
What? No, Rick. But you can't say if they get injured in practice, you're going to yell at the coach.
No,
they have to practice.
He said, David, and it's exhibition games. It's just like practice,
They
except for you're going
no, it's
against
not like
real
practice
people.
because you can control the setting in your practice. You can't control the setting in a preseason
But you
game.
can't have non-contact injuries though. So
David,
of course, but
David,
that's not what we're.
Or you can have in practice. Your guys are going out there, and somebody trips and falls.
You know what? Then everybody just stop living life. Go home, sit at home, do nothing because anything can happen.
Or you realize it's football and things just happen and you can't control anything. And it amazes me like, well, no, I don't want this. And what if that?
Well, then let me ask
guys,
you this.
It's big boy football.
If they play the starters, they play all their starters for just say a quarter. Goff gets hurt, Montgomery gets hurt, J-Mo gets hurt. You're not going to say, well, he shouldn't have played him.
No. David, I'm not going to. Andy Reid, coach of the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, has arguably the unicorn who says, I want to play in this game. Andy Reid's, if Mahomes gets hurt, then, man, you want to play? You're going to play. And they're moving on. But it's just I'm amazed that here in this city, grit and toughness, how all of a sudden, you can't play anybody because what if they get hurt? What if they get injured? Oh, my goodness.
But what's the difference between what Kansas City does and what most other teams do in the league?
Win?
No, joint practices.
And win?
Kansas City doesn't do a joint practice at all. So playing in the preseason makes sense because you're not going against anyone else.
But joint practice is controlled. Preseason's uncontrolled. And they're willing to roll the dice
But
and
my
play
point
their guys
is you're doing
all
it
3
against
games.
other players, not yours. So now you got more competition, more things going on in the practice versus if it's one-on-one against your guy.
But you talk to coaches, they say they get much better work and much better gauge going up against their opponent in the joint practices than in the preseason games, even if they were going to play these guys for a quarter. They do because of what they want to work on. They want to work on the red zone stuff that in the preseason game they might not even get a chance to work on the red zone because there's not much scoring in these preseason games.
I mean, I look at the preseason game as actually what a real game would look like. You don't get a chance to dictate what's out there. You just got to know and react on the fly rather than script all of this stuff. Okay, we're going to work on that. I'm not saying they got to play the whole time. I would put them out there for a couple of series. 248-539-9797. That's just what I'm thinking. You guys may not care about it. What's your favorite hot dog condiment? So I don't get it. I don't understand. But apparently, like I said, I'm in the minority here. 97.1. Question is simple. Would you like to see the Lions play a few more starters in this game tomorrow against the Kansas City Chiefs? Kansas City is, I think it'll be a good gauge of where your team really is because Kansas City is putting their first-string guys, including Patrick Mahomes, out on the field. 248-539-9797. David, what you got?
Let's be real. The Chiefs only have to worry about one guy getting injured. The Lions have a lot of pieces that are integral to their success.
Wait a second. Okay, as much as I agree with Dan Campbell, there's a guy, his name's wears number 87 for their team, tight end, pretty good. I would think they would not want Travis Kelce or on the other side of the ball, Chris Jones.
They got 2 O-linemen that are all pro.
Yeah.
They have.
Right, that's a lame excuse.
You have to have that dress rehearsal game just like it was when there were 4 preseason games. That is be in Detroit.
Yeah, and that's all. I am not saying you don't even have to play them the whole half, but I would like to see them go out there for a couple of series to see.
I get it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go crazy about it, but I'd rather
be
guaranteed that they don't get hurt.
And that's just it. You can't guarantee anybody's not going to get hurt.
Hmm? In that game, you can if you don't play them.
Very true. That's the only way to do it. If someone gets hurt in a meaningless game, I'm pissed. Regular season, I can deal with it.
Right. That's the point of us wussies.
Could it be because the Lions have 2 practices versus a team, whereas Kansas City doesn't? They're talking about the joint practices they had with the Giants.
It could be. Maybe that's the reason Andy Reid doesn't like joint practices. He probably doesn't like the fights that come out of it either.
And I guess I look at it like this. If I'm going to emulate somebody, I would emulate the champions, and this is what they do. So maybe I need to adopt this as well.
I get it.
And then that leads me to this text. Just because someone jumps off a bridge doesn't mean everyone should. If you don't think Campbell knows what needs to be fixed without playing in the preseason game, then you don't trust him.
What I'm saying is I don't think that anything is absolute because he's already had a couple players get injured at practice. Oh, my goodness.
I was wondering about this, and thank you for the smart, Rico. I was wondering about this. I wonder if this conversation looks a little different if Rakestraw, Arnold, and Gibbs were all still healthy and hadn't gotten injured. I wonder if we're a little bit less hesitant to play the starters, specifically guys like Rakestraw and Arnold right now. Because right now, I'd probably tell you I'd want to play those guys.
I would want to play everybody on defense because you're going up against the best quarterback in the league. And it would kind of let me know, okay, here's some things we need to fix.
In a preseason game where they're not running real sets, I don't care what they look like.
Okay, they're not going to be running their trick plays. That's still Patrick Mahomes.
I bubble wrap everybody and send them in the locker room.
Okay.
You're like me.
I didn't know. You know what? When are they going to come out with the bubble wrap caps? Because I've seen the grit caps. When's bubble wrap caps come out? Let's go to the phone lines. Tony, you're on 97.1.
Hi, yeah. Hey, I texted in. I was the one that said that you know, the Chiefs, like they only got one guy to lose, Mahomes. So what I'm saying is that, like, if Kelce, if one of those guys goes down, like, Mahomes has enough upside, like, he can make up for it. Like us, like the Lions, like, I don't know, we rely, I feel like, more on like the team as a whole.
I get it.
Where it's like if you lose someone like if you lose Hutch, if you lose Laporta, Branch, something like that, like, it's going to be a drastic difference to like the win-loss total at the end of the year. Like Mahomes, if you lose, you know, like I said, I mean, he has enough ability to make up for losing some talent.
Let me ask you a question, Tony. You remember last year when these two teams played in the regular season?
Yeah.
Who didn't play for the Chiefs?
Right.
So
like,
maybe they can't afford to lose
yeah.
them. Jones
Right.
and Kelce didn't play, and the Chiefs lost
Right,
to the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, but like I said, I think, you know, first game of the year, you know, like I said, I just I think we're not in as much of a position to lose a key guy as they would be.
I do understand and somewhat agree with you. Yes.
Appreciate the phone call, Tony. The whole playing scared thing, look, it comes.
Whoa. You're leaning in the direction of saying they're playing scared. I don't think they're playing scared. I think they're playing smart.
David,
Rakestraw
I'm talking
and
about,
Arnold
hold on.
already got hurt.
What I'm talking about is I have to hear the fans say, well, what if somebody gets hurt? Like, guys, it's football.
But every team and every fan base is saying that right now.
But
what if
the teams are out there playing guys? It's like, you can't put them. Kenny's like, put them all in bubble wrap. Okay.
But you know, I understand why Kenny's saying that. He's coming off an NFC Championship game. He wants those players that were key in that to be healthy enough to play in an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl this year.
Super Bowl? You mean like the Super Bowl champions who are playing their guys? Huh. Interesting.
So everyone should do it then, not just the Lions. Why is it not everyone doing what the
should
Chiefs
mandate
are doing?
it.
David, like I said, to me,
If you're charging big time ticket prices.
Don't get me started on that.
Oh, I know.
Don't get me started on that because they don't cut you a break when it comes to these
Oh, I
ticket
know.
prices.
I was a season ticket holder. You know what they've done, which is actually smart. Your actual season ticket price is the same. The actual individual game ticket prices have changed, but you're still paying the same.
But it's still
which
the
I think
same.
it's
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's okay. Like $2 for the preseason game, and everything else is jacked up. But that's
I
okay.
would just all teams. I would just like to see. Yeah, you know what? Give me a couple of series, just so you can see what you have, and you got time to correct some problems and get the rust off, so that it's not. And here's the thing: you don't play anybody in the preseason, you're more than likely to get the soft tissue injuries once the season starts because you haven't gone out there and you haven't played at full speed. That's NFL data
And so
right
you
there.
so you don't think that substituting the joint practice helps? Because that's more full speed than a regular practice.
And you're actually situationally, you're definitely guaranteed to have more things that you want to work on than in a preseason vanilla game.
Right. But, I mean, come on. In the joint practice is vanilla. You're not showing off real plays. It's for real.
They're playing all damn hard in those joint practices.
They're
They
right,
hit.
but the plays are vanilla plays.
No,
You're not going out there running your real plays.
Well,
in a joint
some
practice.
of them they are. Like when they're in the red zone, they're running their red zone offenses. Some of them.
Why would you run your real plays in a joint practice when so? Okay.
Because chances are you're not.
Well, hold on.
You're not playing.
Most times you do a joint practice. You're not playing against that team in the regular season.
Right.
The Lions don't play the Giants, so they can do whatever they want in that practice.
Okay, I know it's highly unlikely because the guy that normally sits there will be passed out. What if they play in the playoffs?
Okay, they're not going to the playoffs.
What did I just say?
They're not.
What did I just say?
Go.
I said
I
it's
can't go
highly
past that. I'm sorry.
unlikely, but you could play any team. You don't know what the scenario is going to be. There's a chance that you could play this team again.
And it varies because last year they played the Jags in the joint practice. Well, there's no shot unless you go to the Super Bowl, and they go to the Super Bowl. But I think the joint practice can substitute for anything that you do in the preseason. And most times when you see teams playing their guys in the preseason, it's teams like my team, where you have to see what you have because we have no other way to see it.
David, I get it. My thing is this. I would like to see the only one to me would probably be Gibbs. You got the hamstring. You could sit this one out. Everybody else, I want to see a series. I want to see you guys go out there, go score. And like I said, my incentive is this. Score a touchdown on the first drive. You are done for the day. Go out there, make the plays, don't drop passes, get it done. And you can take your helmet off, put on the track suits, and just sit on the sideline and hold a clipboard.
Look, it's one of my favorite cliches, okay? And it is a cliche, and I say it a lot. But when you have something that needs to be discussed or argued, you sit there and say, well, what's the downside? And to me, the downside is way greater them playing in preseason than not playing in preseason. And I think it's that simple, at least for me.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm looking at this. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm looking at, 6 preseason games that Tom Brady played in his entire career. 6. And he won Super Bowls. So,
David,
just saying.
I didn't say that it's an absolute. What I'm saying is you could play these guys for a series or two. I'm not saying playing for a half. I'm not saying playing for the game. But yeah, I would. And because when it was 4 games, game number 3 was always the one preseason game that you would want to watch because you knew you were going to see the starters out there.
Right.
You only played 3 games. So in this game, yeah, I would put them out there for a couple series.
I think times have changed, though. I think the money that these guys, especially the quarterbacks, are making, you want to do everything possible to protect your investment. That's the way I look at it. And by the way, to piggyback off of David's point, I bet you Dan Orlovsky played a hell of a lot of preseason games and he didn't win a frickin' Super Bowl.
You know what? Stoney wins. 97-1.
Brought to you by Cars for Kids. Colt Keith is not in the lineup today because of a hamstring cramp. He's considered day-to-day. He felt that cramp yesterday. Riley Green also began his rehab with Toledo yesterday playing left field. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He will not play tonight, but he'll be back in the lineup again tomorrow and is expected to play 6 to 7 innings. Casey Mize also expected to make his third rehab start in Toledo on Sunday. He's not eligible to come off the 60-day IL until early September. The Tigers' number 5 overall prospect, according to MLB Pipeline, is set to make his major league debut tonight against the Yankees. He will hit 5th and play third base. He joins the likes of Ty Cobb, Al Kaline, and Lance Parrish, who all debuted in the 5-hole, according to Ryan Ford on X. Coverage starts at 6:15 right here on 97.1 The Ticket. The MDen has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Quote, "This is being done as a part of the potential sale of our company. We hope the sale can be concluded quickly and can be announced very soon," end quote.
You hate to see it.
According to an article in the Detroit News, it's their largest unsecured debt is $8.8 million owed to the Michigan Athletic Department. Connor Stallions is heading to Mumford High School to serve as their defensive coordinator. And also speaking of Michigan, ex-football coach Jim Harbaugh said Colin Kaepernick will not join his staff this season. He had reached out to him earlier in the week, quote, "I love Colin, but he's not going to be on the coaching staff, which is set for this year, and he's not going to be playing on the roster either." At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Joe Namath's not going to be on the Chargers roster either.
5 o'clock here in Detroit. We're going to take you all the way up to Tiger Baseball. They're taking on the Yankees. We're going to take you up to 6:10 to the Tigers pregame show. That voice you heard, yes, that was the Godfather himself. That was Michael Stone. Hey, we talked about our Little League stories earlier in the show. If you missed that, go back, hit that Odyssey rewind. Plus, we did touch upon the Connor Stallions, new DC at Detroit Mumford. But right now, what I would like to talk about, Stoney, is something very similar to the Little League stuff. Tigers, once again, on Sunday, they're giving up a home game. They're headed out to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series, the Little League Classic. They're going to be taking on the New York Yankees in that game. And we were saying, you know, especially David, it's kind of a cool thing, a cool venue to see a major league ball game in a different type of place. Like for me, I think it's the Braves and the Reds next year are going to be playing at
Bristol Speedway.
Yeah. So, I mean, at first, I guess I never realized how big the infield was, that you can put an entire baseball diamond in the infield of a NASCAR event. It just really put things in perspective.
Didn't Tennessee and Virginia Tech have a football game there, or at least they were planning to have one at one point?
I thought the plan was. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember that. It was. I think it was the same raceway, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Because I know they kicked around the idea, but nobody wanted to give up a home game to kind of do the same thing here, like the Michigan State game at what's the
MIS?
Yeah, at MIS. It was thought about.
Yeah,
but it means somebody had to give up a home game, and it was like, no.
You'd rather not do that. Yeah.
You'd rather not do that. But, yeah, so I guess the question is, the 248-539-9797.
Michigan or Michigan State should play one of the directional schools there. That would be cool for both, you know.
It would be a logistical nightmare. Have you ever been there?
No.
It is one little road in, one little road out. So you would be stuck in traffic for an hour to maybe 2.
Yeah, if you thought getting out of the Palace was bad. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, unless they've changed it since I've last been there.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, wow, because like if everything goes, if one car just breaks and does something stupid, a state trooper was like, yeah, it takes one car to cause a domino effect, and then you're stuck in traffic for a long time. But want to know, what is that event that you want to see? Or what's the one cool event that you love seeing sporting wise? Whether it's, watch, like for me, when they first did the aircraft carrier game, it was different, but I was like, okay, you know what? And still one of my biggest regrets, I did not go to that game. I was so angry at myself that I I didn't go.
Well, they played it. They were there twice, right? You didn't go either time?
I didn't go, no. Because
right? They did it twice, right?
They did the first.
Once was against, I think, North Carolina. Once was against Gonzaga, was
yeah,
it?
they did. They did it twice. So, yeah, I didn't go the second time.
The Gonzaga game, they had that game and they blew it, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. Damn.
Yeah, because at that point, I didn't think the team was good enough to try. And I had just got back from watching them play Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I had to choose, and I'm like, okay, it's easier for me to drive to Indianapolis.
Not a lot of seats on the
aircraft,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so.
Well, he could have got a press seat, because he
yes.
he always gets the best press seat of anybody at Michigan State games.
I don't, but
Yeah, you do.
But this one was, I was a little angry because when they did that, because I remember it was at the time Barack Obama was the president.
Right.
He goes down, he's
Yes.
shaking everybody's hand. Walked right past my seat.
That would have been cool as hell.
I was like, I was supposed to be sitting.
Yeah.
But you saw him on his bus.
I did see him on his bus.
Before he was president.
Right. He was just Senator then.
The one
He's just Senator Barry.
What I'd love to see, and it would never happen, is pretty close to that because it's the same type of thing, is an NBA game outside under the lights, on a hard top, like playground basketball.
Rucker.
And even the nets would be chains like they were back in the day in the playgrounds. Because the Parks and Rec department didn't have enough money to keep replacing the nets. They used to have chains.
But what if people jump and they get their fingers caught and they get hurt? Oh,
Well, as long as
you don't want that to happen.
Well, it wouldn't happen in a preseason game.
No, I get it, but I don't think the NBA players
Probably not.
because they like in the control. Heck, Stoney is hard enough to get them to play a regular season game
I know.
in a gym.
I know.
But you know what? They probably would do that.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, because of the novelty, especially, you know what?
If you're
Here's the-
from a city,
here's the perfect thing: the Knicks and the Nets, right
Yes.
there. Two New York teams playing in Rucker. That would work.
That would be great.
Okay.
You're right. That would make perfect sense. You don't have to bring in another team.
Nobody's-
It's just those teams from
you're
the
not
area
traveling.
right there.
Yeah, we're going to one of those games. It's going to be played right there. I like that
I have
idea.
a few bleachers, and that'd be about it.
The one that I want to see come back, and I don't think that it's going to, but I would love to see. It's look right now. It's fantasy football season. In some leagues, the worst team gets punished. You got to do something stupid, put on a tutu and go to a ball game, or wear a sign, a sandwich board, something like that, saying I lost my league. The worst team in the NFL against the college all-stars. I want to bring that game
I
back.
remember that game. I loved that game as a kid.
I want to bring that game back. And so, because everybody always says, oh, well, they would kill him. Fine. Let's just see it happen. Let's see it take place.
It would be
I would
cool.
have
It
loved
would
to
be-
see Caleb Williams go out there against, the Carolina Panthers. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
So I would love to that's an event that I would like to see.
But it
come
was
back.
back then. It was the champions against that team. Wasn't the
Oh,
worst?
was the champion?
Yeah.
See, I would say the worst team.
Yeah.
Gives you incentive. Okay, guess what? Stoney, you're going to get the number 1 overall pick, but you got to play in this game. No opting out. None of that. No, you're going to go out there and you're going to play this game. I don't want to hear it. You're hurt. You sucked all year. You're going to play this game. And you better win. That's what I would like to see.
And it used to be at Soldier Field, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. 248-539-9797. Or on the flip side, what is that event that, you know what, you're kind of sick of? You don't need to see it anymore because you've seen it. It was great novelty, and now not so much.
See, I'm going to do it in two ways because mine is I want to get rid of one, but I think there's a way to spice it up. And I want to get rid of the Winter Classic in the NHL.
No!
But if you want to keep it, because I know Kenny's going to look at me a little wild here, but if you want to keep it, you can spice it up in my mind because they do the games where they've gone overseas, where they've gone to Sweden. They've done things like that. I think the Red Wings were a part of that. But if you find an outdoor venue there, if you find an outdoor venue somewhere in France or Switzerland or somewhere, instead of just playing it in an indoor place, do the outdoor game overseas.
They do.
I
Go
really want to
overseas.
get rid of it.
I mean, the Red Wings went overseas,
Or
to
at least
play
make it
in-
make sense. Like, I don't need to see an outdoor game in Dubai.
No. I don't need that
Okay.
either. Make it, it has to be in a European city where they care about hockey.
Right, like it's like,
Right.
Or even like, I don't like the game out was they had one in Phoenix, they had one in LA.
Yeah, I don't
like,
need that.
When I think hockey,
No.
I think LA.
They
Yeah,
had
I
one
don't
in-
need that at all.
They had one in Lake Tahoe, though, I believe. With the Sharks probably was the host team, right?
Maybe you're in like a hockey place that a lot of hockey. Like, what about like Thunder Bay? Could you imagine them hosting an NHL outdoor game?
Well, outdoor. You're right. But what they do, I mean, they have that preseason game for the hockey town in
the smallest town. It's brought to you
Yes.
by Kraft or whatever
Yes.
it is, the Hockeyville of America or whatever it's called.
Kenny, is the Hartford Mall still around?
I don't know.
Play one there.
That would be awesome.
Would be sweet.
And they can bring back the theme song,
Yeah.
I don't hate it as an idea, but like the
Brass Bonanza.
if we can just do one a year, I think we can all shake hands on this, right?
Yes.
Okay. We don't need 4 or
We don't
5
need
or
the-
3.
You don't need the Heritage Classic or whatever the hell it was called.
No, just give me one.
And
Pick
then
your
the-
favorite. That's the one for the year.
And the stadium series that they have in New York with the 3 New York teams. No, you don't need it.
Plus, I feel like that alienates all of your Canadian audience and most of your American audience that aren't in the tri-state area.
I totally agree with you. By the way, Rico, in 1958, August 15th, the college All-Stars defeated the defending NFL champion Detroit Lions 35-19.
Such a hater.
But they also beat the Packers after they won the title in 63.
Such a hater.
Of course, that has to be part of the Lions' history.
Yes, it is.
What are we doing?
I know.
248-539-9797. What's an event that you want to see? And what's an event that you're kind of sick of? And if it went away, you would not shed a tear. We'll get your phone calls. We'll get your ticket text next. 97.1. What's the one sporting event that you absolutely wish would happen? Whether it's playing a basketball game, outdoors, an NBA game, or you like what the Tigers are doing with the Yankees at Williamsport at the Little League Classic where they're playing it there. They gave up a home game to go there. Braves and Reds are going to be playing at Bristol Speedway in the infield. What's that one sporting event that, man, I wish – because for me, I would love to see the college all-stars versus the worst team in the NFL.
You want that back?
Yes.
You know what I want back? And it's kind of a stretch. I want the NCAA Final Four to be held in a normal size arena, not a dome anymore. But I know that'll never happen because there's money.
Good luck
Yeah,
and God bless.
I know, but
I'm still surprised that a lot of Final Fours take place in a basketball-only arena. Some, not Final Fours, the regionals.
Yeah, like we had one here at Little Caesars.
I was like, wow, I can't believe that you're actually not holding it at Ford Field where you could have jammed in more people.
You're right. And most times when they do that, they're a city that's going to host the Final Four soon.
Right.
So you would think that they would go ahead and just get everything like it's supposed to be.
You would think. But,
right.
I'm always shocked when I see the regionals still held at an actual basketball arena. Because according to players, it does make a difference with the sight lines.
I think the last one was the one at the I don't know what it's called anymore. I don't think it existed. The Izod Center, Continental Airlines, Brendan Byrne, the Meadowlands Arena where the New Jersey Nets and Devils used to play. That was the one UMass was in the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one. Because you look at some of the...
Yeah, because I was about to say, isn't that where Kentucky Duke game, the famous...
Kentucky Duke game was at the Spectrum in Philly.
Okay.
The Leitner game.
Okay.
The NC State game with Valvano, that was at the Pit in Albuquerque.
That'll never happen again.
Never.
I was about to say, this sounds great. It really does.
When Villanova upset Georgetown, that was at Rupp Arena on the campus of Kentucky.
Yeah, that'll never happen again.
No.
Yeah, that genie's not going back in the bottle.
248-539-9797. On the flip side, what's the one event that you've kind of grown tired of? It's a little passé. If they never played it again, you would not shed a tear because it probably jumped the shark 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Let's just go straight to the phone lines, David. Anthony, you're on 97.1.
Hey,
man.
Every All-Star game in every sport just seems like kind of pointless to me. It's not even – they don't even play them the same way they play a normal game. It's like, I don't know. It's just kind of – they seem pointless. Baseball kind of had it right when they were playing for home field advantage in the World Series. But, I mean, I honestly can't tell you the last time I watched either the Pro Bowl, NBA, NHL.
Tony,
the Pro Bowl doesn't exist anymore.
Let me tell you something. We're shaking hands over the airwaves.
Yeah.
Because
there we go.
I totally agree with you because they are pointless. I mean, at least the NFL realized no one cares. The players don't care. The fans don't care.
Right.
They were, what if we put it in Hawaii? Oh, yeah. The most expensive place to fly out to go see nothing.
Right.
Players don't show up.
Baseball.
If you want to give them a break, give them a break. Give them a week break so everyone can take some time. Don't. Give some guys a break, and then the guys who are really good, like, oh, we have to keep working. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Now, baseball has it at least. The game is still basically the same game. I mean, the pitchers don't pitch as much, but other than that, it's
if the NFL really wanted to do the Pro Bowl right, Anthony, they would hold. And I saw this. Somebody did this. I can't take credit for it, but I read it someplace. You do it during the middle of the season.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow came up with this. You do it during the middle of the season, so therefore the teams that are playing in the Super Bowl, you don't know who's in there. So everybody's participating. All the best players.
You talk about guys opting out to protect themselves from injury, a Pro Bowl in the middle of the season?
No, I mean, but you could do like a flag for whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Now, baseball, the only problem I had with baseball, Anthony, I appreciate the phone call. Only problem I had with baseball was this. If you're going to put the World Series on the line, then give me the 25 best players. Don't give me the representative from every team because I would hate to find out, like, let's just say the Tigers are on the verge of the World Series and you got to put an Oakland A in there they're not even trying. And wait, I get home field advantage of whether this guy who's the lone representative of this horrible team up to bat in the bottom of the ninth. No, put the best players out there if you're going to go that route. Because if it means something, let's make it really mean something. But what's that event that you love, or what's the event that you absolutely hate? I can't disagree on the All-Star games because I don't know. I don't know anybody that the All-Star game is like must-watch TV. Kenny, hockey? I mean, don't you enjoy a nice 19-18 hockey game?
No, I agree with the caller. I think all the All-Star games can pretty much go. I have one that can also go that never actually had any appeal to begin with, and that's the NFL games over in Europe. I don't think anybody was clamoring for the London games, was clamoring for the Germany games. I don't think anybody wants to see Jacksonville or anybody else over there anymore.
You don't want to see the Toy Story lineup?
No.
Play the virtual game?
No. But you know what's funny about that is you say, all right, well, at one point, some of these had a little cachet, or a little bit of, ooh, that might be cool,
Never.
Novelty. That one, to begin with, never had any
Because
novelty.
I've yet to hear anybody say, oh, I'm going to plan a trip to London to go watch my team. Like, no.
It's all the NFL plants in the stands anyway. I'm with Mike in this regard.
The jerseys? Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, there's an LT jersey from 2004. I don't buy it.
Is that Maurice Jones-Drew jersey? Wow.
I've seen a Brunel jersey, Mark Brunel jersey.
Right, like, come on. Lions Dan Orlovsky jersey.
Where do you even get a John Kitna jersey? I don't know.
All of a sudden, you see three guys up there. You got the Roy Williams, the Mike Williams, and the Charles Rogers jersey. Like, what are we doing here? Like, yes, Kenny.
Did anybody want that to begin with other than the NFL and their ad dollars?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, okay, and Jacksonville.
Because he wants to move there.
Right.
He wants a team there. Other than that.
Yeah, let's get up at 10:30 to watch this football game.
And
9:30.
What is it? Yeah, it's a 9 o'clock game, isn't it?
9:30 game here.
And by the time you remember,
but
it's
again,
the third quarter. You're like, wait, wasn't it a game? Oh.
But again, that's 9:30 here. 6:30 on the West Coast.
Right.
You're not getting up on the West Coast to watch that game.
What was like? Was it 4
That's
in Hawaii?
That's why I don't think West Coast teams ever play in that game, do they?
No,
The
they
London
have. I
game?
think they have. Seattle's been over there. Let me check.
They have. I don't know.
I think Seattle has been over there.
That's absurd.
It really is.
That's a brutal flight for a West
Well,
Coast
that's-
team.
that's-
I'd be pissed if I was a player or coach.
Well, not even that.
Well, you
'cause
get the week off.
Yeah, they go over, then they have the bye. But it's just you're fans, and if you care about TV ratings, nobody in the West is watching.
Or just think about this: the Ford Field's become this house of horrors, and that's the Lions' home
Say
game.
goodbye to your home game.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah.
Yeah, Chargers have been there. Broncos, which is
wow.
Yeah, I'm looking. San Francisco's been there.
They'll find a European version of Theo Gridiron to sing the fight song.
Oakland's been there. Yeah, there have been West Coast teams. Arizona, Seattle. Yep.
That's a horror.
I could just see it now. The Lions are playing in Munich. You have the German version of
Forward on the
Forward on the field.
A Lions team that will not yield.
Because they always have a in there too.
We kid because we love you, Theo. Your phone calls, your ticket text next, 97.1. All right, guys, the fall is approaching rapidly. As a matter of fact, classes will be starting in 2 weeks at Specs at LTU, located right here in Southfield on the campus of Lawrence Tech. Look, you're going to be taught by people who work in the business like yours truly, with the hands-on approach and the expert faculty. You're going to look at all the practical skills you need to succeed in today's media industry. So you hear Stoney and I laughing and joking. You're like, you know what? I want a radio career. Specs can help get that career started. Or you want to go into television. You're a graphic design artist. Specs can help you achieve your goal. It'll start you out in the right way. So what are you waiting for? You need to be curious. head on over and visit the website, ltu.edu/specs. That's ltu.edu/specs to learn more. And then while you're there, make magic by enrolling in Specs at LTU certificate program. Hey, guys, do that today because classes are starting in 2 weeks.
Brought to you by Precision Garage Door Services of Southeast Michigan. The Pistons have hired Matthew Verdon as their new director of grassroots and intelligence. According to Hoops Hype, he's coming from a gig with Overtime Elite Basketball League, where Sar Thompson played in before getting drafted by Detroit. Now, Gio Urshela has been DFA'd to make room for the newbies to the Tigers roster in Sweeney and Young. A.J. Hinch said, quote, I was told when we signed him by a lot of people in the industry that he would turn into one of my favorite players, and they were right. He's such a fun pro to be around. But these jobs, they often create situations that you have to make tough decisions, end quote. Reese Olson was seen throwing on flat ground today at Comerica Park, according to Evan Woodbury. Olson recovering from a right shoulder strain. Hear the game right here on 97.1 The Ticket between the Tigers and Yankees. First pitch at 6:40. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Michael Stone joining me today. Mike is out. If you miss any part of this show, use the Odyssey Rewind. Stoney and I will be here taking you up to the Tigers pregame against the New York Yankees. Hey, guys, you may want to check this game out because there's going to be some new Tigers in the lineup.
Is Mike going to see his team? Yeah, I know. It's amazing. He's such a big – I mean, I like horse racing too. But he's such a big Yankee fan. I don't think I know anybody who loves sports as much as he does, who refuses and hates going to the actual event. I don't think I know of anybody like that.
I don't know of anybody who's a fan of a team. He's like a frenemy. Like he loves the team, but
yes.
he hates the team.
Yeah. That expression is used in my house with my twins.
Yes.
They're like frenemies.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's Mike with his sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
He loves them, but he hates them.
And he doesn't want to go watch them.
Correct.
Although he did go to the Celtics to win the title.
It took some arm twisting.
Yeah.
But it took them to actually look like they were going to win for
Yes.
him to say, yes,
Right.
I'll do this.
Yeah,
And it
I
took
know.
like, Mike, just go, this deal. Yeah, Jason Tatum. Oh, my God. And he's just, Mike, you're about to win the title.
I know.
He still hates Eli to this day for some reason. Super Bowls, man.
Two.
I know.
Two, Kenny.
Yeah, I know.
248-539-9797. The sporting event you love to see or the one that you just hate and you wish it would go away. I think it's going to be difficult for anybody to top Kenny's in the NFL European games that no one cares for.
Right.
Even the people of London don't care at all.
When your team is playing, though, I remember in the Lions a couple times they've won. It was cool to, have your pancakes and your breakfast while you're watching them play.
You know what? It feels almost like somewhere in between a real game and a preseason game.
Yeah, you're
yes,
right.
It counts, but it doesn't really feel like it counts. And if you lose, you're like, wait, so this is going to go on our record.
And one year the Chiefs just beat them by like 40 points or something. And then they had the one year where they beat Atlanta because what was Atlanta's coach? Mike Smith completely screwed up the clock management at the end of the game.
It just doesn't feel like a real game, in my opinion.
You know what? That is a perfect way to put it. Because even as I'm watching any other team, you do think, this doesn't feel real. And then you look in the fourth quarter and you're like, well, no, Trevor Lawrence is still playing.
Yeah, it's like we talk like 4A baseball. This feels like 4A football.
And you don't want to bet. You don't want to bet on it for some strange reason because it's at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you really feel like a loser.
Yeah,
if you do bet on it. Dave, a couple ticket texts before we get back to the phone lines.
Yeah, a couple texts here. The NHL needs to do do some special location games. Lake Tahoe was great, so do Alaska, the Dakotas. Be creative about it.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Would be very interesting. Someone says MSU's playing a game at Northern Michigan in the Dome. That is crazy. I don't need that.
But that's
Izzo.
That's Izzo's alma mater. It's an exhibition too.
Is it?
I think so.
It's funny. Somebody asked me today, was I going? I'm like, No, I'm not about to hop in the car for 7 hours.
Have you been there? Up there?
No.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
I haven't been past Mount Pleasant.
I was up there.
You think I'm about to drive all the way there? Are you nuts? Are you high? Come on.
I was up there for a 9th grade field trip, and it wasn't the greatest.
Man, are you kidding?
You didn't like the pictured rocks, or are you talking about Northern Michigan?
No, it was Northern Michigan.
Oh, you just went.
It was
you went
way
to
on the other
school.
side of the
Okay.
Upper Peninsula. It was a school
7-hour
project.
drive for a game against Northern Michigan. Nah, I'm good. You know what I'll do? Exactly what I did yesterday. When I watched them play in Spain, I'll watch it on my phone, and I'll just leave it at that.
It was streamed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, speaking of, someone did send this in. I would like to see every team in the major leagues play one series per year on a Caribbean island. Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, the Aruba.
That would be interesting.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, because there's so many players.
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised they haven't because
they've had a few. It has been done.
I'm just saying, but the talent that
Yes.
hey, come and watch us practice
More often.
Right.
See, that makes more sense than the NFL going to Europe.
Yes.
Because this is actually a connection to these islands and these places. So
that's actually a really good idea. Whoever sent that in,
Right.
Because there's a ton of talent there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. One more before we get back to the phone lines.
I'm a huge fan of the Field of Dreams game and hope they make that once a month series.
No.
Okay.
All
right, you know what?
Less is
Here we go.
more.
I'm going to be the bad guy here. That looked ridiculous to me. I just didn't like it at all.
Well, it is the most overrated sports movie of all time.
And maybe that's
However,
why, because I'm like, really? They're going to come walking out the outfield?
If you build it, they will come. And then they come out
and they're redoing it so they can. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to commercialize it now. So it's going to be a bigger museum, bigger field, bigger stands, and it'll be corporate now.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Ethan's been waiting patiently. Ethan, you're on 97.1.
Good afternoon, guys.
Hey, man.
One thing I'd love to see is a remake of the Winter Classic. They could call it Winter Classic Stadium Showdown. Let's get the Red Wings and the Blackhawks to play mid-January under the lights, alternating between the Big House and Soldier Field.
Oh, you mean every year they have one of those games?
Yeah, every year, just bounce back and forth between the two different stadiums. At night under the lights would be a pretty cool atmosphere.
Well, you have actually, if you want to do it that way, you have so many venues you could really change it up. You know, you go Soldier Field one year, the Big House one year, Wrigley one year, Comerica one year,
Ohio Stadium, maybe include that.
No, not for the Red. No,
No,
the
Red Wings
are playing Columbus there this year.
He's saying just the Red Wings and the Blackhawks every year.
You're not going to play Detroit and Chicago and Columbus.
I think I would get tired of that. Once again, sometimes less is more.
Right.
It's, okay, you only did this.
There's
I remember that. It's special.
A word that was created, it's called unique.
Yeah. But yeah, if you did it every year, I don't know. Daniel, you're on 97.1.
Hello, I just wanted to speak about golf. I don't like the PGA being moved from August to May, and I really don't buy the FedEx season-ending stuff as a substitute fifth major. Thanks, and I'll listen off air.
Well, first of all, it's not a fifth major. What it's trying to do is make the tournaments that are after the majors are over somewhat more relevant and give the guys more money. As far as when they moved the PGA to May, I think what they wanted to do is just have a major in the form April, May, June, July. You had the Masters in April. Now you have the PGA in May. In June, you have the U.S. Open. And in July, you have the British Open. I think it's okay. I think a lot of us, and I understand what you're saying, the old-timers love having the PGA in late July.
I don't care about golf that much, but he was fired up about this.
He was.
He was like, no, just no. So what's the event that you just, like for me, I would love to see the college all-stars take on the worst team in the NFL. If you're going to get the number one overall pick, it comes at a price. And here's the thing. Your coaching staff, you could get to look and see probably who you're going to select.
You know what game I want to see? It's the game that will just shut everybody's pie holes. I want to see the worst team in the NFL play the best team in college football because there are these idiots Oh, Alabama, they could beat the Carolina Panthers. Really? It'd be 93-0, the Panthers, because every player on their team is actually in the NFL.
See, I don't know if it'd be 93-0. I think that
Well,
the
whatever.
Panthers. No, but I hear people like, see, I think that the college team would actually have a chance. No. That it wouldn't be this blowout. It wouldn't be this absolute bloodletting, but it would be,
Well, you're Mr. Prop Bets. What would you put the number at?
I'd probably put the number like 34.5.
Oh, God, I'm laying the 34.
Give me the NFL team.
Oh, my God. It's ridiculous.
Because here's what you got to remember. You're also going to have a team full of tryhards who are going to want their shot at the NFL and know if I make the catch, if I make the tackle, if I make the play, somebody's going to pick me up on that roster.
So somebody may get hurt. It's a preseason game now.
Okay. Just to localize.
Yeah, because
Just all right, just to localize it. Okay, I'm not
right, because if you kick a 63-yard field goal, maybe you end up on an NFL roster.
okay. Just localizing it. Don't say there's Michigan. But Michigan's football team probably had 13 guys that were drafted, right? And they have a lot of guys who are on the team this year. They were on the team last year that are going to be in the NFL. Will Johnson.
So Michigan versus the Carolina Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers would kill them. Forgetting about whether the Panthers, whether Stallions knew Bryce Young's plays or not.
Is Harbaugh coaching the team?
Yeah.
Oh, well then Michigan.
Not even a shot.
Mini Harbaugh.
Not even a shot.
It is America's team.
Hey,
Come on.
What if Michigan versus a bunch of mini Harbaughs.
Dude, God, this is what this is turning into.
All right. Oh, we got more football next. College football, 97-1.
Brought to you by Hamilton Chevrolet. Gio Urshela and Easton Lucas have been DFA'd today as Trey Sweeney and Jace Young make their debuts. Akil Baddoo also heading back to Toledo. That's his 5th option this season. Coverage against the Yankees kicks off in just under 15 minutes right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Here's the Tigers lineup that does not include Colt Keith today. He's dealing with a hamstring cramp in his day-to-day. Parker Meadows leads off and plays center field. Kerry Carpenter back in there in the 2 holes. He DHs today. Matt Vierling will hit third and play right field. Bly Madris back out there in the cleanup spot at first. Jace Young making his debut, hitting 5th and playing third base, and just under 1,000 ABs in the minors. He slugged .468. Justin Henry Malloy, the other rookie, hitting 6th and playing left. Zach McKinstry in the 7th hole at second base. Trey Sweeney also making his debut today, hitting 8th at short. That's against the team that drafted him, the Yankees. Jake Rogers rounding out the order at catcher today. Bo Brisky will open the game. He'll oppose Garrett Cole, who has a .470 ERA. But in his last 2 starts, he's given up just a combined 3 runs. In what has been a short year for him, he came out the 60-day IL in mid-June after suffering elbow inflammation. Juan Soto was on a tear in his last 7 games, hitting 6 homers along with just 2 strikeouts compared to 9 walks. He's right back in the heart of that Yankees order, hitting second and playing right field today. News shook the Michigan high school football community that Connor Stallions was tabbed as the new defensive coordinator at Mumford today. I asked head coach Will McMichael if he thought twice about hiring him, given the sign-stealing allegations he's facing is from his time at Michigan. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, Michael Stone, Rico Beard here till 6:10 as we get ready for Tigers pregame. As the Tigers, well,
there's a buzz at the ballpark, some new players. The Yankees are in town.
Don't do this to me. God, Detroit, why are you doing this to me? I was ready to just, you know what, David, let's just go to the big finish.
You know what? I'll just start right there with the big finish because Jace Young and Trey Sweeney have been called up. Young is hitting 5th in the lineup. Trey Sweeney is hitting 8th in the lineup. And we found out when we talked about it earlier in the show, Rico, you are ready to watch this game tonight.
Mm-hmm. David has piqued my interest. Yes, I do. I mean, we've been hearing about the core all this time. Young up here. Maybe he's your third baseman. Maybe you have to move him to someplace else. But I just want to see what he can do in a major league lineup. And Sweeney, here, you got him as part of the trade. And him as shortstop. A brother can dream.
He's been great in Toledo, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm also watching tonight. I think I have to admit that. We started the show with talking about Little League stories. People texted in about a bunch of stories, things about them catching the ball, doing the unassisted triple play.
Mm-hmm.
Stoney, yours was you struck out in T-ball.
Yes. I hit the hose that the ball was on, and I was under the impression as long as the ball got off the tee, it was like a foul ball. I was wrong. But then I pitched a no-hitter the next game I played because they went from T-ball to pitch in the middle of that 8-year-old season. Yes, it scarred me for life.
And Rico, we found out where your spite origin story began. You missed the All-Star game and rooted for them somewhat, but not really.
No, I had to learn sportsmanship. I did not want to root for them. I didn't want to go to the game. And I had to force. I was forced to go and watch and just sit there and stew. Like, yes, Kenny, you were right. It was the beginning of the origin story of me being a supervillain. Yes.
You were forced to go watch, and one person that was not forced to go watch and decided to go watch on his own, had a whole network to do this, was Connor Stallions. Connor Stallions went to go, he had a whole network set up, and there's a trailer out for his Netflix
yes
doc, and it talks about him taking pictures thousands of photos of signs.
He is just a weird savant.
Very weird.
And he crossed the line and got caught on it.
And I'm sure he'll be portrayed as a tragic hero.
Yeah. And
Michigan did nothing. I was a lone wolf. I had nothing but spare time, so I traveled the world stealing signs and writing manifestos. Doesn't everybody do that?
I think everyone does that.
Mm-hmm.
And now
you're not you're not really anybody until you write a 600-page paper.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is
because 500 is just not enough.
We should be happy because most manifestos are a lot
they,
more serious.
They end in a different way.
Yes, exactly.
You're exactly right. This one ended in a championship, and now he's the defensive coordinator at Mumford High School in Detroit.
The Fighting Axel Foley's, baby.
They are the Mustangs.
Mm-hmm.
They are the Mustangs. So you go a lot of ways with that one. We did talk about the Lions in the preseason. They play the Chiefs tomorrow night in Kansas City. I believe that game is in Kansas City. We debated if they should play the starters. Rico, you think they should. A lot of other people in Detroit think they should not.
Right.
Kenny thinks they put them in bubble wrap.
And let me clarify. The starters for two, especially your offensive starters for 2 series, and with the caveat, if you guys score a touchdown in the first series, you're done for the day. You're done. Mission accomplished.
They can play a couple defensive guys. That's it. No need to take a chance.
We'll see what happens. And Kenny brought up a good point, I think, earlier in the show, that it may be different if a couple of those players in Gibbs and Arnold and Rakestraw didn't get banged up in practice early in the week. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We really haven't heard from Dan Campbell, but a couple times this week, we hear from him again after the game. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Another thing we talked about as we ended the show was the sporting event you want to see or get rid of. Stoney, you want to see an outdoor NBA game.
Yep, with chains like they as nets. Amen.
Enrico, you want to get rid of the All-Star games? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was a caller called in, and I agree with him. All the All-Star games are meaningless and pointless. It's just why?
And Kenny wants to get rid of all the European NFL games. It was not necessary, and it would be getting rid of black jobs. Tiger baseball is up next.
Thank you.